Hello, Awifians. Hello, good evening, good morning to you all. Wherever you may be in the world, I have a princess with me. I have a princess with me. And I hope you are going to have an aha moment today because I believe when women sit together to build something amazing, the world will benefit from it. And Miss P is here with me today to share her knowledge to help us understand what I've been telling you for years. We have issues that we have to talk about. I do not understand why, with all the potential that we have in Africa, in Cameroon especially, that I do not see women on tech talks. I do not see women on big platforms like European Union, the UN. Where are you? This is going to be an emotional live stream for me, but we have to talk about it. Miss P, I am truly honored that you're here with me today, that you took the time off your busy schedule. I know what you're working on. I know how hard you're working. I admire you. I admire your work. So please, from the
Thank
bottom of my heart,
you.
thank you so much for coming to share
Yeah,
your time with
thank,
us.
thank you, Lillian. Thank you for having me today, honestly. And especially on a topic like this, when you said emotional, that was the key word, because I'm extremely emotional about empowering young women, especially in the African society. We have so many issues, and I think that we will have to start changing them in order to move forward, honestly. So I would say thank you for thinking about me on this.
I couldn't have done this without you. There are other ladies that are going to come on
Oh,
board, but this couldn't have been without you. And
oh,
life has its way of telling us to
yeah.
wait. That time was necessary for us to wait. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. You've helped me to heal in my own process. I needed that time so that my anger could, I could really calm down myself to speak
Oh,
about
wow.
it without being angry, bitter,
Yeah.
or emotional. It's going to be emotional, but in the right way. So you've helped me. You've
Thank
helped.
you. Thank you for saying that. I feel blessed and honored if I can support somebody and help someone through it. It's an honor, honestly. It's an honor.
It's going to be a good conversation. So why don't we take the time to share this live stream out to our family and friends, and
Perfect.
we'll be right back.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're back, but I'm not sure Miss P is back. So let's give her a few minutes to share this live stream out with family and friends, to her audience. And if you're watching us today, please share, and come back. Come join us. Let's have a moment of, it's going to be 45 minutes or 1 hour. Let's talk about the truth. Let's talk about what's holding us back. Let's talk about how we can move forward. And there are lots of surprises right here today on this platform. This platform is your platform. I founded it with one intention, so we can all uplift one another. So I'm not the only one sitting here talking about women empowerment, financial freedom, real estate, income streams, and much more. On this platform, we have men supporting us, women supporting us. But most of all, on this platform, we have amazing women like Miss P, who takes her time to really carve out programs that's close to the people themselves. So yes, thank you so much. As we dive into this conversation, I would like to share with you the quote of the day. The problem human beings face is not that we do not aim too high and fail, but that we aim too low and succeed.
Yeah.
Does this resonate with you?
For a very long time in my life, I think I played on this same level where I felt like I had to only set achievable goals. And I think that's what destroyed me for a very long time. And then I got to change my circle. I changed the people with whom I interact. And then I realized that where I was functioning was just too low and I could do so much more. That was when I realized as well that, okay, you know what, you start thinking big and bigger, then you'll achieve those things. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I chose this quote because I think as Africans,
Hmm.
our culture has kind of set the level of how far or how low we can go.
Yes.
So we tend to just aim for those goals which are achievable, those things
Hmm.
which are visible, those things
Hmm.
which are acceptable in our community. And we forget that we were born as sovereign human beings. We were born as an individual. We are a gift to a family. We are a gift to parents. We are a gift to nations. So we tend to do those same things. You go to school, you
Yeah.
get your qualification, you get married,
Yeah.
you just obey your husband or you just go with the flow. Then we succeed. And at one point, we realize we've done all those things. And we ask ourselves, what else? What else?
Yeah.
And because we do not find answers to those questions, we start blaming others. We blame our husbands, we blame our children, our in laws, and all the rest. But it's simply because we've gone for the basics that the culture wanted. So, as a princess, I see you as a princess in my eyes. How was your upbringing like? And how have you paved your way to really be this example that many people see you?
Lillian, honestly, if I had to dig into my upbringing, I'm sure I'd cry because I already have tears in my eyes. But they always say that what you see, it's not exactly what it truly is, because we all have problems in this life. I'm going to tell you, wherever you're born, however you're born, however the circumstances be, you have your own challenges based on the circumstances that you were born in. And I came from a home which was fairly financially stable and comfortable, and I did not necessarily have any unmet needs. I actually had wants that were met as well. So basically, I was really comfortable as a kid. But I had issues from my childhood which are affecting me all the way till today. And it
Yes.
took me a lot of time to identify that those were the issues. So when I complain, everybody says, but you had everything you needed. You went to great schools, you traveled abroad, you didn't even have to work while you were abroad. Your parents did everything for you. Yes. But one of the challenges I had, which a lot of these other kids didn't have, is I did not have childhood. I had to mature up really quickly because my parents were very tough on me. The discipline was extreme. You had to meet up to societal norms. They have to be able to, you have to be the perfect kid to take to, the meetings, the Bamileke meetings and medical doctors meetings. I had all those issues. So I grew up feeling like I was never really good enough for anything. And I had to work by the books of what my parents want to feel fulfilled. Um, Thankfully, my mom was a great balance to my dad in the sense that my dad was extremely tough and difficult, but my mom, she knew how to pad me and make it easy, make life so much easier for me. So somewhere it did give me some strength and some balance. And honestly, when I look back at my childhood and I look at my mates with whom I was supposed to be growing up, they all had an exceptional time. They had fun, they played games. I don't even know how to play cards. And some of those fundamental things are the things that build up a person to being who they are tomorrow. I'm thankful for discipline because it helped me to be structured in how I want to go my life and be determined and push for the things I want. But at the same time, I feel like our African parents make our kids um, not achieve their full potential because they beat them up too much and don't allow them to express their fears. You have to bring up your kids in a way that they are open enough to you to share their issues and their worries without feeling like they're a problem. And that's where the right education starts for African kids. If you teach your kids that they're not good enough, how do you think they'll face the world?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's a lesson I learned. Hopefully, when I have kids, I'll be able to bring them closer and make them my friends. But memories from my childhood, I really don't have many because I was pushed to grow up super quick. I was always in my books. I was always studying. The only things we're allowed to watch were documentaries and cartoons. And cartoons were like twice a day for 30 minutes. And the rest of the day you're studying. So it was really a tough upbringing for me, but it paid off. It did pay off.
I'm grateful that you're sharing your story with us. It's necessary that we open up to one another. There is no perfect life.
Nah.
No
Mm.
one. No one has it all. I have my story, you have your story, but this is where the compliment comes in. If we can put all these broken pieces together, what can we build?
Amazing things. Amazing
That's,
things.
that's why you and I are here today, to put these broken pieces together so we can build amazing things, but also build women that are confident in themselves for the
Yeah.
next generation.
Mm-hmm.
You and I were living our lives with the handicaps of the past. I would say handicap. Again, no one has a perfect life. But
No.
the world in which we live today requires certain emotional intelligence that the African culture does not permit. So, this is where you and I have to come in. But we are not alone. I know I wrote a blog post and I needed permission to write that post. I hope we will not be judged for that because
Mm.
many people are coming with us. We are coming to uplift, but also to build from what we did not have, because
Yeah.
the world today will not permit you not to be emotionally fit for
Mm-hmm.
yourself. So, irrespective of our culture, irrespective of what happened, we acknowledge the pain that happened, and we are
Yeah.
here saying we got the best out of it. We are using the best out of it. But we also know many things are lacking, and we want to
Yeah.
move forward. Today, we are going to be talking about mindset. We all know that there are many factors that is holding the African continent back.
Mm-hmm.
However, I personally believe there's one thing we're not talking about, the mindset. So, what is your definition of mindset?
My definition of mindset is quite varied in many ways, but the easiest way I would put this is your reflections, your directions. Those are the things which build up your mindset to be what it is.
I absolutely agree with you. Your experience and your reflection gives you your mindset.
Yeah.
But very often in Africa, your reflection doesn't count, does it?
No, we were not thought to actually think for ourselves. As Africans, we were not taught how to think for ourselves. It's only lately that Africans are really pushing through to really, explore their minds, but that's something we were not groomed to do at
No,
all.
at all. No, no, no. I confirm that theory. We were not allowed even to think about it. It doesn't
You're,
exist. You
you're
go
not
by the
allowed to have a
rules.
mind and a brain that's thinking.
You go by the rules. You do what, just do as it's done. Carry
Mhm.
on. Who the hell do you think you are? You want to change things? It's working. What the problem is?
Voila, voila, exactly.
But the problem is we're standing where we are today because of our mindset. So let me take
Mhm.
a comment from our viewers. Let's see.
Yeah.
Great and beautiful to you all. Courage, one love to you, Miss P. Miss P. You see,
Oh, that's
everybody loves
beautiful.
you.
Thank you,
Everybody
dear.
loves you.
Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
So yeah, we are where we are today because of the mindset that we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's based to our culture. You respect your elders, you do this, you do that, you do. But financially, this mindset is holding us back. And to me, there are two kinds of mindset. The fixed, what do you have to say about the fixed mindset?
The fixed mindset is one which is convenient for us Africans because the African leadership has mystified power. They have
Yes.
demonized money. They have made success seem like such a, weird thing to achieve. And if you achieve success, then you are of the top league. Well, success by definition is different for each and every one of us. That's what people do not know. And that's what a lot of Africans don't understand. Success is you identifying the things that make you feel happy. If you achieve them, that's fine. It doesn't matter what it is. But
Yeah.
we have made success a material achievement in Africa.
Mhm.
So it's about stands, it's about money, it's about societal stands. There's so many things which are wrong with our definition. I'm not in any position to say wrong, but I feel are not the best definition for success. Now, what are your goals in life? What are you aiming at in life? Don't define that by building a house, by the number of cars you have. Define that by the substantial things that make you happen. And that's where leadership has controlled the mindset to direct them to thinking that some of these things are the elements that should make them happy, which is wrong. Now, especially for us women in the African society, success has been kind of categorized to be an element of building a home, going to school, building a home, getting married, and having kids, and then having a regular, probably 9 to 5 job or something that allows you to be home most of the time and be a good housewife. Fine. I'm not saying no to that, and I understand that. But if you look at it critically, a lot of African women are not given the respect they deserve in the professional environment because they are not married, because they are single.
Yes.
Even those who are pushing and are fighting and have potential are not given the attention they need because they are not married. Even amongst their peers and amongst other people, every time you present yourself as a single woman, you are a threat to a lot of married women. And at the same time, you have no specific relevant role to play because you do not have a man tied down to you, a man you do not identify with.
Yeah.
And along with that, most of the time, the men we come across nowadays, especially in Cameroon, I apologize for saying this because it's my country, but I'm not really sorry about it. Our Cameroonian men have not been thought to love the woman, have not been thought to love themselves, have not been thought to empower women around them and to strengthen them. Now, those are a lot of fundamental issues that affect the female mindset back home in Africa and especially in Cameroon. I'm going to pinpoint on Cameroon because we
Yes.
are so many years behind and we are
Yes.
still in denial. I've looked around some African countries and you will see the difference. For example,
We will
Nigeria.
come to that. We will come to that. We will come to that. And
Don't worry, I'm a
this is
prophetess
why I'm
to
so
go for
proud
you.
of you. This is why I'm so proud of you. This is why I'm so proud of you. Because when I call people to come on live stream, they say the politically correct stuff,
No, no,
you
no, no,
know,
no, no.
and we are
No,
still
that's why
standing.
I
It's
don't do a
6
lot of
years.
live videos because I know myself. My mouth, I
Uh,
try not to go on air much because my mouth is not the best.
this is why 6 years of away, we are still standing at the same junction because we are not moving. People are saying just what is supposed to be said, and let's leave it at that. No progress
Mhm.
we made.
No.
You've said it all. The men do not play their role as they're supposed to. But, but this is the danger point. And I'm working on a book on that.
Okay.
Who is to be blamed? We women will raise the men. We women educate them. We women will teach them how to, no one will respect you until you give them that respect. We try to hold them because we have this feeling that there are less men in Cameroon than
Mm-hmm.
or Africa than women are. Who
Yes.
is to be blamed? I truly stand the point that the problem Africa is facing today is because of its women. If you keep drilling down, no matter the love we have for our mothers, aunties, and if you keep
Yes.
drilling, it took me 40 years to come to realization. I am not giving credit to men because they destroy. They
Yeah.
destroy. We could have another conversation on that. They destroy.
Mm-hmm.
But who is holding this destruction a secret? It's us,
I
the women.
Yes, I think we are very comfortable in the positions that they've shoved us in, and we make a lot of
Yes.
excuses to stay there.
Yes.
Very much so for both men and women, I would say, to be honest. But women are stuck in cultural stereotypes, and they are making it a norm for them. They're making it true for them. Over in December, I hosted a workshop with 100 girls creating their vision board into 2020. And when we went into the question and answer session, asking them what are the issues they face for those who are trying to get into entrepreneurship, for those who are working, I wasn't surprised at the responses, but I was surprised at how much they held on to the responses. Some of the responses were, oh, because I'm a beautiful girl, a lot of people think I don't have brains, I'm not intelligent, I can't do much. And my question was, whose problem is that? Is it their problem or your problem? It's their problem. You do what you have to do. A lot of people will come with, oh, sexual harassment. And I go, sexual harassment, it's not right, but trust me, you have to take control of yourself and deal with that. When people know that you will deal with that appropriately and save yourself, they won't mess with you. They're going to stress you out, they'll make life difficult for you, but trust me, they will back off at some point. Now, when you go to extreme violence cases that I will not talk much about because it's, crazy guys who push for that. But a lot of the stereotypes that the culture has set on us, we are accepting them. That's why it's affecting us. It's just words. It's just people doing things. I'm one of those who has not, like, one of my ex-boyfriend once told me, you need to get people to like you. You're not likable. And I go, why? It's like, you need to start interacting with people more and doing what people like. And I said to him, no, that's the problem. If we all try to be the same, who's going to be the different one who makes change happen? I'm not saying I'm there for change to happen through me per se, but I'm comfortable being myself. And every woman has to be able to embrace that first, the comfort of being your own self. That's where it begins. That's where it starts.
I completely agree with you. However, there are not many examples.
No, and a lot of those women who have pushed to be themselves, and I would say themselves in terms of women with integrity, there's a difference.
Yes.
Women with integrity who have pushed to be themselves, trust me, the tags they have, the things they identify themselves, they identify these women with, sometimes I feel embarrassed. A lot of them have not been able to hold down certain relationships, especially with our African men, because it's a tug of war and it feels like you're fighting for power all the time. But coming off that, when you hear what is said about them, it's not beautiful. If you are not strong-minded enough and determined enough to be who you are, you will not survive. You will just fall back into, the bucket with everyone else.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And it's those names that can either
Yeah.
make you or break you.
Or
You know,
break you. Mm-hmm.
you don't want to be called a prostitute because, come on, you have a brain apart from that. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's the weapon that the men they use. And then women just go back like, whoa, you know?
Yes.
And
Yes.
what even hurts is that most of the time it comes within the family, and that you don't have then your foundation is shattered. Your
From the
foundation
people
is
you
shattered.
would. Yes, and funny enough, you're mentioning this. This is one thing I'm keen to, around the world. And before I say this, I'm going to say I'm not condoning this. I'm not accepting it as a norm, but I'm just making a comment on the things I've noticed around the world. I've traveled quite a bit and I see how people function. Now, in the rest of the world, in every sector, corporate, entertainment, whatever, there is a lot of sexual, um, undesirable activities that happen.
Yes,
There are a
yes,
lot of sexual proposals that come by, and it's up to you to make a choice if you want to get into transactional sex for the things you want out of life or not.
yeah,
And what comes out of it is they value your output. They're going to see you in a position of weakness and try to take advantage of it to get what they want. But at the same time, they try to give you what you want in the rest of the world. But in Cameroon and in most African countries, what they do is they put a woman in a position where she feels vulnerable, desperate, and then they do not value anything you have to offer anyway. So you can still accept to go the other side and deliver whatever they want, do the transactional sex for whatever you're trying to achieve. but rest assured that they will not value your output. And they use sex as a tool to destroy a lot of people. If you think in Cameroon, once any little thing happens, they just put out a sex scandal on your name. Like, she slept with these people, she has done this, she has done that. They use that to kill you. They use that to destroy you. And that is one thing that destroys our entire society, because we have given power to things that do not make sense. We've given power to pleasure. People have sex for pleasurable reasons. You cannot judge the choices people make. But to use that and put it on the forefront every day to try to destroy what people do. The fact that somebody has weird sexual desires does not mean they don't have anything to offer in a professional world. Now, in terms of integrity, you can make your choices, that's fine. But I feel like that story has been overtold, and women have to disconnect from that completely to be able to stand strong. Sex is not a tool to be
Yeah,
used
yeah,
against
yeah,
us. It's
yeah.
not.
I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree. And it's time that when you see any information that she did this with this person, please dig deep. Don't
Yeah.
even think of what, go beyond that, because it's so cheap. It's so
Yes.
cheap. They have wives, they have moms. How did you come to the world? Stop using words so stupidly. It shows the primitivity of the culture.
Yeah.
It shows how little people can be. So before we
Exactly. And that's
continue,
why we don't
let's take
grow.
exactly, let's take some comments.
Okay.
Women have to embrace the comfort of being themselves. I love this, Miss P.
Oh, thank you, Claudia. Mm,
Okay. And I really think it's time to speak up, because all this gossip and all this is cheap promotion, doesn't
yes.
make. And also, if you're a man, is this what you want to sell about yourself? But let's
Yeah.
forget about that. That's not the topic of discussion. We are talking about revamping all these things, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've
Yes.
traveled a lot. That's the advantage I have with you. You say you've traveled a lot. What is your opinion on African women's mindset compared to other women from other continents? I am
From
sitting right here in Switzerland. I've traveled. So
yeah.
if I stay here, they will tell me, most of complaints is that, oh, you're living in Europe. You don't understand. Okay, I'll swallow that. Tell me.
Well, I would agree. I'm fairly traveled as well.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is different from our African women with other women is they work for the things they want in life.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to go into the details of how they work for it, but we feel very entitled. We have not been taught to understand what working really means and what the value of work is. So if we switch up to the things we want. We identify the clothes we want. We identify the type of house we want, the type of car we want, the type of home environment and friends we want to have. I think that's a good basis to start identifying how to achieve those things. Now, in Africa, how to achieve those things is getting married to a guy with a comfortable job, to finding yourself in fairly comfortable situations. But we have to twist it around and start thinking of what our value is
Yeah.
to the world.
Yeah.
When you come to someone, most of the time you have something you need from them, but you don't think of what you have to offer them. Our women have to start thinking of what they have to offer. They have to start understanding what their values are, what the world can take from them. And I think it will change a lot of things. It will change so many different things. And the rest of the world, that's what happens when they go up to someone, they're offering something before asking for anything. So they cloud your brain with what they have, with their energy, with their enthusiasm, with everything that they thought about. And that's what catches your attention. But most African women come to you vulnerable, come to you desperate, come to you with low energy. They come to you in need.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't understand that by you going to get married to this rich guy, you're going to give him, kids. And that's a
Yes,
huge value to him.
yes, yes,
You forget that key. You're
yes,
pushed to be a woman, to be, if you're not a mother, you're not a woman. Fine. But
yes,
did you acknowledge that value as a woman?
yes. We don't acknowledge our values. We don't even know our values, Lillian. I'm going to tell you that a lot of women do not know what they are worth, and that's what causes the lack of self-esteem. That's why they do not know how to achieve the things they want out of life. So digging deep, I'll use your words, to understanding what you own, what you possess, who you are, is what will help you build the future that you want for yourself. If you do not know who you are today, how do you think you're going to become someone in the future? Because who you are today is that person who works towards the things you want to achieve. So
Exactly.
tomorrow you could change and have a new, let me not say new personality, but you've switched up a little bit and you've upgraded and you've revamped yourself. But
Yeah.
it starts from understanding who you are today and who you are
Yeah.
now. And many women do not do that. They just focus on the good job, the good husband, and the beautiful kids.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. And it's such a pity. It's such a pity because then we close the doors to our own lives. It's like when I've studied, when I've taken care of my beautiful self, I found that man, have the kids, then my life is over.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
a pity. Which is a pity. Let's take some comments, please, because I'm getting too many.
Okay, cool. That's interesting.
Yeah, I love this conversation.
It's quite insightful.
We have to carry this forward. Yes, sex is not a tool to be used against women.
No.
No, no. It's a tool to be used against both men and women. Both of them need it. So come on, get it
Yes.
off the road. Shows the primitivity of the culture. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Because when you have a good sex, good woman and a good sex, you will value her. But if you really have a sense,
Mhm.
women are supposed to understand they are masterminds of innovations. Let no one belittle them. Ada, we
Agree.
need you here. Let's change
She's
this
making a lot
conversation.
of sense. She's making a lot of sense.
Ada again says, watching from Alexandria, Virginia. Thank you so
Oh,
much. Thank
that's so
you.
happy. Wow, Eda. Oh, that's good.
Thank you very much. Please share this out to your family and friends and keep
Mhm.
commenting because we need this information. This is what helps, and we're going to boost this post so that it can get to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Some of the African women just need to realize that total dependence on a man isn't good. It's not good business, man. It's not good
Mhm.
business. This is exactly what the mindset change needs to be focused on. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense, OJ. It starts with training your daughters from a young age and giving them role models. Yes, OJ is quite right with that. We have to
Exactly.
start training them from quite young.
Exactly. So, OJ, please share with us what mindset you would like to transmit to the younger generation, the girls, and most especially.
Mhm.
Give us
Yeah.
one idea. A lot of women do not know they are enough.
No.
We think we need the other person to survive. God created you
Mhm.
alone. Think about it. Preach it, Miss P.
Oh, Terry, thank you.
Fact is,
Absolutely.
you need both genders to achieve. Oh, pure OJ.
Yeah.
We
We
need
have
both.
quite interesting people on this chat today making comments. That was really insightful, OJ. And
That's
yeah,
really, that's really, really, really true. Really correct. We need both. This is what we need to understand both. If you look
mhm.
at the developed world, they do both. But in
Yeah,
Africa, we want this subordination, suppress. If you look at the
yeah,
developed world,
yeah,
it's always both. It's a mindset programming where women are only most times trained to be wives, not people of positive impact that will influence their community.
yeah.
That's true. So, Ada, how can we make this shift? We're going to share some ideas here, but how can we make this shift? Please keep commenting. Give us your tips because our ideas might not be yours, and we need this as a community. It's a collective,
Yeah.
it's like a box. We need all of this input. Then we are going to implement and we'll give you feedback, Ada. We are going to work on this so things will change. Of knowing you can be the
Mhm.
best.
You
Absolutely.
can do the best.
So that
Absolutely.
that's his advice for the younger generation. The mindset of knowing you can be the best.
Yes, And
I
that's
love that.
something that we are not taught to do. We
No,
don't even know who we are. So how can we be the best of who we don't know we are?
exactly,
That's yeah,
exactly,
that's a good
exactly.
orientation.
Yeah. Yes, I'm ready to come on the show and speak to. We'll be please, please come help us because we need to talk about this. We really need to
Yeah.
talk about this. If we do not talk about this, if we do not educate our girls that they are enough, like you just said, if we do not tell them they can, what did OJ say? What did he say about the girls? That they can be the best. I think he said
Yes. Teach them to be the best of themselves.
the mindset of knowing you can be the best. If we do not tell them this, and you fathers, you are responsible for this. You are responsible for educating the girls. Women have their part to play, but so do you. And we need you to speak up. We really need you to speak up. So let's continue with the conversation. Okay, I think the reason why we're having all of this conversation, and as we can see, we all agree on that something is not working. But I
Mm-hmm.
also believe it's because we are staying on a fixed mindset. So when we
Yeah.
stay on the fixed mindset, we are then comfortable. Then culture becomes an excuse, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So how can we? How can we? Why is Africa? I mean, when something is an excuse, you don't need to change anything. Then we're stuck. We're in the same position. We're doing the same things. We expect different results. But I believe
Mm-hmm.
we're not putting in the work. My
Mm-hmm.
question is, why is Africa not putting in the work? It doesn't have anything to do with Cameroon. I've spoken to
Mm-hmm.
women from left and right. It's the same. We are not putting in the work. Why?
Um, I'd say we're not putting in the work because we were not taught to work. We were not taught the value of work. We were not made to understand what it means to be a valuable professional. So when I work with young people across Cameroon right now, and a lot of people I've met across Africa as well, especially Kenya and Nigeria, one of the issues that they have is the lack of soft skills. Now, we acquire quite a lot of educational knowledge, but there is no transferring that into soft skills which are valuable in the professional environment. So, as much as you find people with a lot of degrees, the output in terms of being in that setup does not really match up to what is needed. That's where the disconnect really is. We have to be able to teach these kids, you know, to do well at school, but at the same time to be able to conduct that energy into something valuable in a professional sphere. Now, when you look at things from that perspective, you ask yourself the question, do these kids even know where they want to go, what they want to do, what type of career they need? They have no career orientation. So, as a young woman who comes off school and is being told, sometimes maybe even imposed by the parents, what they should be doing in terms of profession, it becomes a challenge when you leave school and then you get to university, you are told to study in a field that you were probably not even ready for, that you understand nothing about. And then coming off that, you have to work in a completely different environment as well. It's too much confusion set in people's brains. It's too much confusion set in young people's brains. And for you to be able to build your mindset with all of that confusion to deliver greatly as a professional is almost impossible. So we have to really focus on career orientation, the right education at school, and then in terms of transferring that education to soft skills that are useful in a professional environment, then the work can be done.
That's fabulous what you said. But in a continent that's so crowded, like ours, how can people start concentrating on soft skills? Because we just talk, we just do. It's extremely crowded. The noise is so much that
Mm-hmm.
I understand why we lose track. I understand why we want to go for those fast fixes, those jobs that accountants, doctors, while no one is capable of doing our bathrooms or our kitchen or whatever.
Yeah.
How do we start reducing this noise so we really get centered as a family and as an individual, so we begin to choose what's necessary for ourselves? Because in Africa, I think we've lost ourselves. We just exist as a community, and there is no individualism without being
Mm.
selfish. There's a degree of individualism that becomes selfish. But in Africa, there's no, you don't exist. You don't decide for yourself. You
Mhm.
just, how do we quiet ourselves, our minds, so that we can then identify what we really want deep inside?
I think it's about prioritizing. Every individual has to be able to prioritize. You have to identify exactly where you want to go, where you are headed, where you want to be. And then you set your goals, and then you start creating plans to work towards those goals.
Yeah.
Now, I know that Africa has a lot of issues, and I know that they're difficult to get by, especially when you're trying to pay your bills, you're trying to just find something to eat. But if you come out to the rest of the world, trust me, there's so much more noise. There is so much more noise. But the difference is they have been able to convert the things happening around them into knowledge and understanding how they can be unique. It doesn't matter if you're coming up with a new makeup brand, there's so many of them, but you have to understand what your unique value proposal is. And it may not necessarily be in your product, it may just be about you, it may just be about the way you communicate about your makeup online. So it's just about you figuring out what exactly you want, and then finding out what is unique about you, and then working towards it. Because at the end of the day, you will never know what you are good at. You will never know how you can improve something without starting it.
Hmm.
Most of us have the excuse we don't have enough money, we don't have opportunity. That's fine. There will always be issues in life everywhere you go. But the question is, what are you doing? If for those of for those who have left Africa and come to the western part of the world, yes, they've had other opportunities. They're seemingly having a lot more opportunities, but the reality is they have had to do a lot of things differently from what we're doing in Africa to be able to have those opportunities worth for them. So it's not the same person who was sitting and complaining 24/7 in Africa that is going to get a job here. When you come here, you have to develop yourself, do some trainings, and go job hunting. We don't do that enough in Africa. And sometimes, yes, you can create opportunities for yourself. We complain because it's tough. We have so many challenges and it doesn't seem to be working. But who says it has to be easy? That's your life story you're building. It doesn't have to be easy. I can tell the story of how I kicked off with almost nothing. I'm not anywhere near where I really want to be today, and I still keep screaming and shouting. I've been shut down here for a couple of months. I've been able to work from a distance. But what this pandemic has taught me is the fact that when you are in a situation, you have to find the formula that works for you rather than complain about the things that are not working.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
let's not forget, you're putting it so beautiful. You're making my life too easy. Let's not forget what you see while you're sitting in Africa as opportunities
Yeah.
might not be those opportunities when you're here.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
see clean roads, streets, people driving cars, the bills they have to pay,
Yes.
not even
Yeah.
begin to imagine. The taxes they have to pay, you
Yes.
cannot even begin to imagine. So there are other challenges. Every
That is.
continent has its challenge. But the problem to my mind here is that we are only seeing the challenges that we have in Africa. We're not seeing the
Yeah.
opportunities that we have in Africa.
Yeah.
We're not seeing
I'm
the
going to
fact
take
that
an example with myself. Sorry to interrupt you, Lillian.
exactly. Do
I
please
lived,
do, please do.
I lived in England for close to 10 years. While I lived in England, I was a student, and then I went through so many difficulties, and I finally got a job in a comfortable place, and I had a decent life. But I was not fulfilled. I was not happy. I didn't even know exactly what I was doing. I can't go into the details because that's a
Yes.
really long, my life story in England
Yeah.
was really long, but you will not believe it. I found myself when I moved back to Africa. I found my purpose and I understood what I want to be doing in Africa. That's where I built my whole self. So it just depends. Every circumstance is different. Now, Africa, they say, is a land of opportunity in so many different, is a virgin land in so many different ways. How come it's the foreigners who are seeing all these opportunities that we are not taking advantage of, we keep complaining about them taking our resources and all these issues, which is fine. And I know that we don't have the control on a certain level in terms of authority. But realistically, when you look at it from a different perspective, you start asking yourselves, what can I offer in this phase? Now, there are a lot of small and medium-sized companies that are stuck in the startup phase for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, maybe, which is quite annoying. But what if all the small businesses had to come together and build an ecosystem?
Please don't make my life so easy. Don't make my life so easy. You're right. You're right. You're so right.
We have a
It is
mindset
greed.
problem.
It's a
We have a
mindset.
mindset problem that's not making that happen.
Yeah, it is a mind because we want to be the chief of, we want to be our
Yes.
own company.
Everybody wants to be the
I
famous one,
interviewed
the money maker, the CEO. Everybody wants the title. But in
exactly.
terms of putting your feet down to grind, they don't want to do. Everybody wants to make money now. The now syndrome is killing us so much, you know. One thing I noticed with some other African countries was the fact that if they identify potential in somebody or in a business, they would come together with you to make that grow. Now, when we talk about women who don't have a lot of opportunities, women consume a lot of products that women can create and make and manufacture. Why don't we have up to 5 people, 5 ladies in Cameroon or well, in other African countries they are. I'm sorry to put this on Cameroon so much now, but my heart is so heavy about that
Yes,
country.
yes,
Why don't we have 5 women in Cameroon who are building solid products and all of them consume each other's products? That's where change starts. If
yes,
you are if you are making wigs, I am making makeup. Somebody else is selling jewelry. We all use those products, and one person makes clothes. We all use those products. Now, what we could do is create an ecosystem where we buy from each other,
yeah,
and possibly we get discounts or we get, commission if we sell for the others. So it's about us changing how we think. The Bamileke people are doing that quite well sometimes, but I don't know how that adaptable it is to different cultures. But we really have to start thinking of some of those things we can do for that change to come about, rather than complain about the government, complain about all the problems we have. I'm just tired of going to bed every day thinking of my problems. I feel better when I think of a solution.
yeah, yeah. As I said, you keep making my life easy. I propose this same theory to someone who has an e-commerce business, not in Cameroon.
Oh,
That's why I want to spread my wings. And I said, I have investors.
mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me what the value of your company is.
Yeah.
If I make the calculation, this is what I think it is. This is what I think your life is. If you bring in investors, you
Mm-hmm.
can get some time for yourself and have a life, but
Yeah.
you must be able and ready to sell part of your company to investors. I have them.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
them. So think about it. Tell me what percentage you are willing to share. But
Mm-hmm.
I will take you as my client, and they are
Mm-hmm.
my investors. I want the best for both parties, and I
Yeah.
advise you never to sell six. I advise you to always keep 65% of your company.
Yeah. Yeah.
65%. This is hard to find, and I will bring the rest for you
Mm-hmm.
at best price. Okay, okay, okay. I would do that. I would do my okay, okay. Up to date. Nada.
Nothing. Who
Nada.
loses?
Because you want to be the CEO, you want to be the owner of, you want to be some people just want their money. They don't want
Yeah.
noise. They don't
Yeah.
want noise. They
Yeah.
just give me at the end of the month what my percentage is, and that's it. And this
Mm-hmm.
is what many investors are looking today in Africa. They don't want noise. They don't want noise. I put a post here on this platform. I'm looking for a sign language person. 10 days. We will send you this. I do this, I do this, we will send you. They sent me the reply only a few days ago. And you know how much the value of that project was? 2 million euros. It passed me by like this
Wow.
because people are not proactive. They do
Yeah.
things on their own.
Yes.
They think it's this. I was ready to train them. I was ready to, sell yourself. I'll give you all the facts because I know what they're looking for. But we are so
Uh-huh.
comfortable, we don't move. 2 million euros passed by just like that.
That's such a loss. 2 million
I went
euros.
to bed and I wept.
That no, that's such a massive loss.
I cried.
And
And I
then
said,
then me Maloko as well. It feels like I lost that money.
no, just thinking of it, I cried. It's not even my money. It's not, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
The guy was like, Lillian.
Nah,
He said, book a Zoom call. Let's talk to them.
no, too late. Too late.
Let's take some comments before we collapse. Let's take some comments. Okay. Okay. We need generational changes. Society taught us that women belong to the fire while their life-changing decisions are made by men. Yeah. That's
True
what we were
comment.
taught. Not anymore. Not anymore. We can change that.
Yes, we have to change that narrative.
Exactly.
How can we make this shift? We must start teaching our daughters rights. They do not need anyone's approval or validation. That's a key point because people are always seeking for validation from others and they
Because
don't need it.
it's a
They already
cultural,
are who they are. They just don't want to embrace who they are.
you're already valid. Achieving the best is some everyone can achieve, but you need to believe you can do it. Positive competition can only push exactly. Positive, exactly.
Positive competition, yes,
Yes,
that's a key point OJ has pointed
yes,
out in sense that we don't know what positive competition is. We always feel
yes,
threatened by those who come around, those who try to do stuff differently, or those who are doing things we would have loved to be doing, but we do not see the value in what that would add to us. So positive competition is something we need to really instill in our professional environment.
exactly, exactly. They do not need permission to bloom. No, absolutely not.
Mhm.
Exactly. They should stop seeking approval from people and cultivate the growth mindset. Perfect. You see, we're talking to the right people. We have right people. We have the people who are
Yeah,
ready for this.
yeah.
We just had to start this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Starts with cultural
Cultural,
background. You can't ignore that. You know, there's just no way you can ignore where you come from.
no,
There's
no.
no way.
Okay. Why don't Africa put in the work? I think it dates back to how the culture trained us with gender roles. Yes, gender role is awesome. However, it shouldn't limit us. There should be no limit to what I should be able to achieve because I am a woman or because he is a man. Yeah, perfect. Well said.
Mhm.
Prioritize goal settings. Yep. Branding. Figure out your brand and what is unique about it. Yes. And let's not start going because we see this person is successful with this product, we start doing exactly the same thing. No. You're doing a
Mhm.
wig, perfect. There are so many components to a wig. So many components. So you can be
Mhm.
providing one of those components, not go do
Yeah.
exactly the same. That's what OJ said about competitive. What did he say again?
Positive competition.
Exactly. There's
Yes,
so many
exactly.
components to a wig. Great. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Money is not even the number issue. Most times people refuse to put in the work to do the research and also develop a good business plan with revenue projections. No one will want to invest in your oh gosh, you took it out of my mouth. Invest in you if you do not know, you do not have any serious business plan that has great projection. We are not there yet on this one. When I speak with most African women, they don't know what to do on this one.
No.
Putting a business plan together, I asked somebody, how many grams is this? It's a certain product. She couldn't tell me. So we have to work on this, but it's true. I mean, it's really true. The lack of good governance and accountability is the main problem with Africa. Okay, but let's forget about governance for the moment because so far they failed us. What can we do as
Yeah.
citizens?
I
Yeah.
acknowledge the challenges that good governance, poor governance has instilled in us in Africa. That's a fact. We can never ignore that. Uh, Accountability, definitely not. And that's what has pushed for a
Yeah.
community of people who want to live as a community but act individualistic among themselves. So at this point in time, it's about changing the narrative and being less dependent on people who are not ready to make that change happen for us, and we deciding how we want things to change for ourselves. There's just no way that 15 to 20% of Africans can act a certain way, impact another 10 to 15%, which accounts for about 40%, and then you don't see leadership move. There's just no way.
Yeah.
There's just no way. It's going to take some time, but trust me, if one person impacts one person, that person impacts a third person, you're going to see change over time. And that's where I feel we should do a little bit more of the work rather than focusing on the things that we cannot control. Why not take control of the things that are in your palm and fix them?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Start with yourself.
Yeah,
Start with yourself, and
yeah,
the rest will follow. It's going to be difficult for anyone who starts this movement because Africa is a clan. People live in clans, and once you start trying to get out of that clan, you're rejected or you're. So it's going to be difficult, but
yeah.
we have to start.
Hmm.
The Western world is a working system, but not without its own financial burden, settled with all the taxes and bills. Africa is a gold mine to anyone that understands it. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. But is the gold mine problem not what is holding us back? Because when you talk about taxes, it means you're injecting money back into the community, you're building infrastructure and all the rest. In Africa,
Hmm.
we are seeing corruption, which is not being ejected back into the system. So this gold mine you're referring to, what are you talking about? Can you explain, Ada? Because I am not, yes, you have bills to pay, but you drive on clean streets. You drive on roads. You have medical facilities. In Africa, we are not putting back this money into the community. This
No.
is where the problem is. To my mind, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Please correct me.
Personally, I try not to comment on some of those issues because it's quite depressing. I'm a business owner. I've been in business for about 5 years. When I moved back, I started working as an employee. And after that, I started my own business. And in the last 5 years, I've had my own share of issues. And I know that if there were certain reforms, it would have made my business, flow easier and made life easier for me. But I feel like I cannot control that right now, and I don't want to go and stand in the streets protesting right now either. So I'm going to focus on making myself better and stronger. And one of the things that has helped me throughout is the fact that I've been able to stay independent of anybody's claws. So I stand today without anybody coming to press my neck in the middle of the night saying, "Oh, Pamela, you owe me this," or "Your business owes me that." There have been people who have supported me and encouraged me and pushed me. A lot of hands have been put into this thing for my business to still be alive today. That I agree. But that's what I want to focus my energy on rather than the things that I cannot change.
Yeah, on the right people, the right energy,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
not trying to grow too fast. And yeah, everything takes time.
Yeah.
Financing or the lack, if it is a major issue with not being able to have control over your destiny. Oh, you just said it before. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start small. The problem in Africa is that we want to start big and then we fail. Again, let's go back to the quote. Let's just start small, step by step, and don't try to control everything. Sometimes businesses are. Let's think about the businesses we are trying to create. Let's think about the life. We are trying to create
Mhm.
for ourselves. You create a business and you want to sit on it for 25 years.
Yeah.
That's what is holding us back. Create the
Yeah.
business, keep it for 10 years, try to sell it. Sell it. Sell it.
Yeah.
This is not what Africans want to hear because, sell it. Cash flow. You've acquired knowledge, sell it.
Yeah.
If no one is willing to buy, carry on. But let your aim be to you sell it, you move on, you build something new. Partnership, angel investors. We have plenty of them, but Africa is not ready. I'm sorry, to my mind, I've told you the story of 2 million that, come on, that thing is still on my neck. That's what Africans are so scared of. Some people just want their money. Yeah, they want their money. What? They want groundnut money. Then don't complain. Stay on groundnut money. Then we're not making any progress.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So sad to lose such project. Yes, but you need to work with other agencies that can partner with you when you have contracts. Yes, I need to do that, but you don't partner with Nempok the key when it
Oh,
comes to
that.
such project because your reputation is at stake.
Oh, that.
Some companies, I know very good companies. I know the people, certain people. If I had such project and they were capable of doing it, I would directly call them. I would not even advertise it.
Yeah.
But you also have to diversify. That becomes it doesn't. It's not fair anymore because you tend to work with the same people. You have to diversify.
Mhm.
You have to open up so that other people get a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Get ladies more grease to your elbow to get more grease to get. We will. But you have to also show up. We are working hard for you, but please show up.
Yeah. Thank you, Lily. Exactly.
We all have something that some the other person doesn't have. We can all shine without exactly. Again,
Yeah. I agree with Ruth on that one too.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we were really not. I'm going to say this again. We were not thought to love genuinely. We were not thought to love. I've looked at it from so many different angles, from friendships, family. I've looked at it. We were thought to be responsible for our community and the people who are close to us. We were thought to, take care of our parents, take care of our brothers and sisters, and care about them. But trust me, the fundamentals of truly loving somebody starts with loving yourself. And a lot of people don't have enough self love to love the next person. We say we love them and we think we truly do, but it's not unconditional. So it's not love.
It's
It's not
not.
love.
And I will join in with that. I'll jump on that with you. If you don't believe what she just said, look at the way you get angry when somebody disappoints you. Somebody you helped disappoints you.
Yeah.
That will explain to you. I'm not coming in that communication with you, but just look at the way you yourself you react. If
Yes.
somebody that you've helped disappoints you, it tells you
Disappoint.
a lot on how much you've invested in the person rather than investing in yourself. So you're hoping, you're counting, that person becomes a prisoner, a hostage. And if they don't do back or they don't give back, it's like, my God, I did this for you, I gave this for you, I took care of you. Even your own children, in those days they used to have people used to have many children because they go work in the farms, to help with production and everything. And the children are victims of their parents. I took care of you, I gave birth to you, I did this for you. We do not tell the children, you honored me by making me your mom. We don't. That is a slap on a child's face because
Yeah.
do you know how many people are waiting to be mothers or fathers? But you throw your child, you did not take care of me. You're not giving me enough. You're not doing that. I think we should turn the table around.
Yeah. We need to. That one touched me right in my soul.
That's why I stopped right there because it was getting to me myself.
Yeah.
We can't be everywhere. Find what you're good at. Exactly. Again,
Exactly.
there's so many components to a wig. There's so even if you sell food, There's so many components. You have Maggi, you have salt, you have Janga, you have, you know, be the person that's known for providing the best Janga. Don't try to do the same food like the neighbor. Just be the one person who is known for one specific thing. JF just said, asks not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Yes, our leaders aren't doing well. And if we focus on what we won't do anything for our country or ourselves, but keep playing the game. Exactly. Absolutely. Adam. Absolutely. So let's move on to the questions. If the continent intends to see any economic change, there has got to be a change in mindset. Is Africa ready for this?
I don't know if you want my answer to that. My honest answer to
I
that.
can't hear you.
I don't think we're ready. I don't think that Africa is ready at this point. You can't hear me? Is it better now? Okay. Allow me to leave and I'll go out and come.
So let's take a short break while she comes back. And please keep sharing this live stream with your family and friends. We are going to be having a surprise. It's going to be good. So we are back. Let's see. Yeah, let's see if we can hear you now.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
That's better. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Is Africa ready for it?
even technology can fail us. So
We're here. We're not going away.
yeah. So as I was saying, I don't think Africa is ready for that shift just yet. We still have a lot of work to do. We still have to get off, the entitled mindset. We still have to get off feeling like we should be having something different and actually work for the different things that we want to see happening. So we have a lot of work to do for us to be able to make that shift happen.
Will it ever happen?
Okay, the politically correct person in me has to say, well, if we're working at it, that means we're hopeful that it's going to happen. The true entrepreneur that I've been in the last 5 years is not very encouraged at how things have been going, especially considering that I work very much with individuals, with young people, and I've got to understand that the problems are much deeper than we think they are, and we're not doing enough. We are fighting for the easiest way out, and the easiest way out does not lay any foundations. I'm not asking for people to be sacrificial lambs, but we are at a point where we need a certain number of people to be able to make the sacrifice to work extremely hard in order for things to start changing. If you look at most of the businessmen back home, most of their businesses cannot function without them. They cannot be away from their businesses longer than a week, and that's because they don't have any appropriate business practices that they can transfer. So those are the things which tell you that we still have a very long way to go. If you're running a multi-billion business and you do not have business practices to transfer to your team, then the question is, how is this going to survive without you? That's why when most of them pass on and leave their businesses, not much happens. It just crumbles 2 to 3 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Sometimes when I go, I mean, and it's coming up more and more for me. I have to be honest.
Mhm.
The more I do what I do, the more I think the journey is too far.
Yeah. We have a long way to go.
It is disappointing to say it's coming out from my own mouth, but I think the
Well, you
journey
have
is
to be
too far. Because the problem is, let me tell you why I say that, is that if the younger, I can live with the fact that the older generation do not get it. But if even the younger generation are already brainwashed to this,
yeah.
what are we fighting for?
I really don't know because a lot of people don't even know what exactly they're fighting for. A lot. And when I look even at some of the leading ladies, what they have had to go through to be in the positions that they're in today, unspeakable. It's unspeakable. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I understand why many people give up. So,
Yeah. And if you don't give up, you're a winch.
and if you do, then it confirms the theory. So, how can we
Exactly.
start educating
You
people on
know?
the essence of mindset, of growth mindset? How can we start educating? How can we, as I said, I'm this close, this close.
Yeah. For me, education is going to start from self-worth. Um, People have to know what they are worth. People have to know what they are offering the world. People have to know what they are offering other people in order to make anything happen. If you're coming into an environment and you don't know what you're offering, then we cannot have a conversation. So it starts from getting young women. I will not exclude guys, but today we're talking about women. So um, women have to be able to know what they are worth. And it's not alongside a man. It's not alongside anybody. It's you on your own, you as an individual. If you were left all alone in the world with nobody else, what would you do? What could you offer? That's where you start building your self confidence. That's where you start understanding what you can really do as at now to get to the things you want to do. Now, some would dig deeper. For those who are a bit more spiritual, they would dig deeper into their purpose and into their calling. When you identify what your calling is and you identify what your purpose is on earth, trust me, don't waste time trying to figure out and ask yourself 1 million questions. Just start. No matter how much stupid you look, how rubbish it is, what you're putting out, start, because you're going to correct yourself based on your thoughts for the future and based on feedback that you get from other people. I personally, when I kicked off the show, I did not know how to speak on camera. My makeup was not this clean. I didn't even have eyeliner and all this together. I did not know. I didn't even dress properly on TV. I did not know how to produce a show when I started, to be honest. But this is 5 years on. I produce the show. I do the pre-production. I can film. I can edit. I can the whole chain. I can do that now. If I never started, I would have not been where I am today. And there's just no way I would be projecting for the future. So I think to answer the question without going too long ranting is understand your self-worth is where we have to begin so that people come off with self-esteem that is strong enough to stand through the test of time.
You've touched something which I did not want to get into, but I will,
Yeah.
if it helps anybody.
Okay.
Many people do not know I'm a widow since 3 years. The problem is,
I'm so sorry. I didn't even know that,
I
Lillian.
know, I know, I know. My
I'm
son
sorry.
was 4 years old, my daughter was 6 years old. 3 years has gone by. Nothing has changed. I still live in the same house. I still own the properties. I still own the only thing that has changed is I gave one car away because I don't need two cars.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. My kids are still in private school. Everything is still the same. So when you talk about standing on your own, it is the whole reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today. At the end of the day, statistics shows that 80% of women will die widows and 80% of men will die married.
Now that's an interesting statistic.
So when you think of it, I belong to that statistic. I'm 47 years old today. I was 40s in my 40s when he passed away. If I did not have the knowledge, the understanding of
Yeah.
real estate, of anything, it would have all gone down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, don't think because you live in the developed world. No, 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 no. They will take it all in no time.
Yeah.
My struggle for African women is that you're able to stand on your own. 80% of you will end up as widows. You may find partners, I may find a partner. The point is, when it hits,
Mm-hmm.
it will hit. How do you want to survive this?
Yeah.
How do you want to survive this? I'll leave people to think about that. Let's take the next comment. So we don't have faces anymore. Africa as a gold mine. Having lived in Nigeria and the Western world, I believe the issue of Africa as a gold mine isn't to be interpreted in the negative. Okay, I agree that a lot of policies to be entailed. I am also in the legal field. I was speaking with a friend in the UK, and as we were brainstorming, we were trying to see what problems we could solve back home and make money at the same time. An average Nigerian would love to be served at home because of the business. Okay, it's everywhere the same. I also want the same thing, you know. I don't want to cook anymore. The problem is you just need the money.
Yeah.
Africa, here, you just need the money. If you have the money, you don't have a problem. Yes, the power of self-worth. Yes, yes, just start. Once you find your purpose, vision, just start. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And let me just go back to this comment. I wish that everybody finds a good man. He did a good job. He did a great job, amazing job. He did what many people would not do in 100 years. So I'm really grateful for Michael. He, you know, I will not suffer. I have been loved. He left all what was necessary. I have kids, I have homes, and I have loved. Ah, when my dad passed away, you see,
Another one
I
for the
did not.
women that passed. Wow.
You see, yeah, yeah. 80% of women would die widows. 80% of men would die married. So let's think about that. What a pleasure talking to you. But
Yeah, it is.
we're not over yet. The Cameroonian in me always has devilish ideas in her mind. But this is a good one because
Yeah.
I must confess that on this platform, there are amazing people. As much as I'm this close to say the continent is not ready, there are people who hold me back, who make me think there is a reason to continue. Their
Mm-hmm.
input, their energy, and their motivation is the reason why we keep going day after day. And we have a young man from Cameroon, and I probably think he's in Douala, who is with us today. Forgive me for not telling you in advance, but it was supposed to be a surprise. And it's good to have the perspective of a young man. Because we can
Sure.
talk about women, we women, we women. What about the men? What is their contribution? And I must confess, each time I have interviews, I prepare my questions, but I asked him, give me your questions. And he did
Mm-hmm.
a fabulous job. So here's your brother. Hello.
Hello.
You
Hello,
have
Miss
been
B.
waiting.
Hello, Briss.
How
I
are you?
enjoy your wisdom.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm happy that you're joining us. A man's perspective, be ready for two of us to bring you down.
But I'm really easy for is it really easy for me to speak in French if it
No,
does
that's fine.
cause
French is
any
perfect.
problem.
French
It's
is
not a
perfect.
problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Cameroon is
When
a bilingual
I'm,
country.
I speak French, but if you hear me say some of the wrong words, just laugh and move on.
Alors,
No, I cannot laugh at you.
OK. Alors, bonjour, bonjour. Merci beaucoup d'être ici avec nous. C'est vraiment un plaisir de vous avoir et je suis ravie de savoir qu'il y a des gens au Cameroun comme vous. Merci infiniment pour votre soutien. Merci, merci beaucoup pour tout l'encouragement que vous donnez. Aujourd'hui, nous avons une princesse avec nous et j'aimerais que vous posiez vous-même vos questions parce que le Cameroun a besoin de gens comme vous. Nous, moi, c'est bon, c'est clair. Mais vous, de quoi
Oui,
avez-vous besoin?
J'ai beaucoup suivi l'entretien de Miss P, son parcours et sa vision du business, du leadership. Et j'avais vraiment une question à cœur. C'est vrai que même sur cette plateforme-ci, j'ai déjà eu à poser cette question. En fait, quel langage que vous pouvez donner aux femmes qui vous suivent d'entreprendre une sorte de leadership équilibré, c'est-à-dire voilà, d'être une femme voilà qui ose, qui se lève, mais aussi de l'autre côté qui est conscient, n'est-ce pas, de ses responsabilités au niveau de la famille. How to have the right balance to build a home, a family, your children, your husband, and other side to get into your business and leadership purpose.
OK. Déjà, je vais dire merci d'avoir suivi un peu mon parcours. Je suis très honorée, franchement. Et ce que je vais dire, ça semblera un peu, je sais pas, mais je vais le dire quand même. À mon avis, le monde est là pour nous. Le monde est là pour qu'on le découvre, en fait. Donc, en tant qu'une femme, c'est un peu compliqué parce qu'il y a beaucoup d'attentes au niveau de ce qu'on doit offrir aux autres. La question est que, qu'est-ce que tu t'offres à toi-même? Qu'est-ce que tu veux faire? Est-ce que tu veux te concentrer sur ta carrière d'abord? Est-ce que tu veux te concentrer sur fonder une famille d'abord? Parce que du moment où tu décides de fonder une famille, franchement, tes priorités vont changer naturellement. La femme est construite d'une manière où naturellement, elle s'occupe beaucoup plus de sa famille que sa carrière, que tu le veuilles ou non. Il y a des femmes qui savent un peu mettre les barrières, qui savent être un peu plus dures, mais c'est pas donné à tout le monde. L'instinct maternel est naturel. Donc, quand tu as un certain âge, tu dois avoir des priorités et pouvoir identifier ce sur quoi tu veux te concentrer en tant qu'une femme. C'est ça. Je ne dis pas qu'il faut mettre une chose à côté, mais l'important, c'est de trouver aussi un bon partenaire. Le problème qui se pose, c'est on a des difficultés parce qu'on n'a pas les bonnes personnes qui nous accompagnent en tant que femme. Maintenant, si tu es une femme qui aime travailler, qui aime bosser, qui aime s'associer avec ses amis, se détendre un peu et en même temps, tu as envie de fonder une famille, c'est important que tu trouves ton équilibre à travers les gens avec qui tu es associé, que ce soit des amis, que ce soit ton partenaire. Ton partenaire doit pouvoir te permettre d'être toi-même, d'exercer dans ton boulot quand il te soutient. Pourtant, il te soutient dans ton absence, tu vois un peu. Et si tu es disponible pour gérer la maison, tu dois savoir quelles sont les priorités, par exemple, pour les enfants, les études, la religion, les finances. Et tu sais comment définir toi, ton programme et ce qui t'arrange. Maintenant, tu peux pas dire avoir un balance 50-50 sur tout. Non, ça n'arrive jamais, mais c'est de pouvoir avoir certaines priorités, mais ne pas faire à ce que les autres en souffrent à 100%. Moi, ça, je le dis toujours. Quand tu choisis de ramener les gens dans ta vie, you need to make compromises. You have to make compromises. A lot of women who go down the career path, they don't want to make compromises. That's where the challenge comes in. So if you want to be a fairly good mother, a good wife, and a career woman, something has got to give. You cannot be 100% on all of them because you're going to have to split that 100% into all those three things. To have a balance, it's going to be 33, 33, 33 for you to be able to have that balance.
Parfait. Je suis très contente de ces questions et la réponse. Ça, c'est magnifique. Et j'aimerais ajouter quand même des choses, si je peux. C'est que tout d'abord, l'homme africain ou l'homme camerounais ne laisse pas beaucoup de marge aux femmes africain.
Yeah.
Bryce, il y a un temps pour tout. Biologiquement, la femme, elle s'occupe des autres. Ça, c'est la base, ok? Comme elle a dit, c'est normal, c'est naturel. Mais il y a aussi un temps où, quand cette fonction a été accomplie, il faut que l'homme aide la femme d'être elle-même. Ça, c'est ce que j'ai appris de mon mari, c'est incroyable.
Ouais.
C'est que chaque fois que je fais quelque chose, il me dit, you're saying all the right things in the wrong time.
Yeah.
Il y a un temps pour tout. Le temps pour avoir un enfant et tu dois la soutenir. Et après, tu dois la soutenir. Mais il faut que tu l'aides à sortir de ce rôle de co-maman. Parce que c'est une femme après tout. C'est un être après tout. Elle existe pour elle avant d'être maman ou sœur ou enfant. Si tu peux accompagner cette femme d'être maman et de dire, toi tu sors, va avec tes copines, va bavarder là, votre histoire là. Tu restes avec les enfants. Tu es en train de l'encourager d'être elle-même. OK? Et c'est à ces moments-là que tu risques de trouver de l'or. Parce que puisqu'elle arrive à cette nuit, épanouie en tant qu'un être,
Ouais.
un être humain, un enfant de quelqu'un, une femme que tu aimes, c'est là où tu vas transformer même ta relation avec elle et la relation qu'elle a avec ses enfants. Pour toi, même pour toi. Une femme ne doit pas être soumise du tout. Elle choisit quand elle doit être soumise, c'est quand elle est dans sa tête et dans son corps en équilibre, en harmonie. Et au Cameroun, vous ne donnez pas cette chance. Je suis désolée.
Et justement, ça me donne de relancer sur cette actualité qui a coulé même sur CNN, un Camerounais aux États-Unis qui est allé jusqu'à abattre son conjoint. Est-ce que des actualités comme ça, est-ce que vraiment ça ne peut pas éveiller le mindset des femmes à se dire vraiment il faut qu'on se prenne en charge? Qu'est-ce que vous dites à ça, Miss P?
Vous avez été déconnecté pendant un moment, donc je n'ai pas suivi la question.
Oui, en fait, je dis, il y a eu un événement tout dernièrement, une actualité aux États-Unis qui faisait état de ce qu'un Camerounais, allô, oui, qui faisait état de ce qu'un Camerounais a enlevé sa femme, il l'a complètement tué, il l'a complètement décapité et lui-même, il s'est donné la mort. Et dernièrement, même encore, tout dernièrement, à Boya, on a également eu une actualité dans ce genre. Au regard de tout cela, de tout ce chaos, de tout ce désordre, est-ce que cela ne pourrait pas être des signaux qui envoient les messages forts aux femmes pour leur dire il y a quelque chose à faire au niveau du mindset, vous ne pouvez plus simplement être là à la traîne d'un homme qui n'a pas de vision pour votre vie. Qu'est-ce que vous dites par rapport à tout ça, par rapport à toutes ces actualités?
I'm going to answer this in English so that I'll be clearer. Yes. To be honest with you, both circumstances have been very, very devastating. There's just no way you would imagine, someone taking out another person's life. I'm never going to excuse that for anything in the world. Domestic violence is something that I would never stand for. I say it this way. The first time he puts his hand on you, go. And this is not to be easy or anything, go, just let him be, because he's going to continue if you give him reason to. Sometimes it might not even be in his habit, but because he understands that you will let him do it, he will do it. So do not give him the opportunity to on you. Now, on the other hand, you cannot always blame one side. I don't have the exact picture of what happened. We always hear different versions, but there's always the truth. And my truth is this: when you are functioning with human beings, do not be a provocation. Do not be a provocation to sorry. Can you hear me now? Okay.
OK. Pardon, je pense qu'elle va revenir et on va...
OK. En fait, oui,
je vais donner ma réponse. Je vais donner ma réponse à tout ça. Je suis d'accord avec toi. Je n'ai pas vu qu'est-ce qui s'est passé, la situation, mais j'ai été dans
Oui.
une situation où il y avait de violence. Alors, ça, c'est encore un autre outil pour les hommes africains sur les femmes.
Un poison qui détruit les femmes africaines.
Exactement. Et c'est très compliqué. C'est très compliqué de sortir d'une situation violente, d'une relation ou un mariage. Donc, les femmes, elles ont honte d'en parler, elles le cachent. Et à un moment donné, ça dégrade et ça devient au drame. Malheureusement. Malheureusement. Les violences, c'est compliqué, c'est tout un autre, quand on va pas entrer dans, mais oui, c'est une histoire de mindset, c'est qu'on manque confiance en nous et on croit que avoir un compagnon est la solution de notre vie. Avoir quelqu'un, quand on se voit, les gens nous voient en présence de quelqu'un, on voit que notre existence se base sur ça. Non, non, non. Mais c'est très compliqué comme situation. Donc, j'espère que Miss P va revenir, mais on va continuer la discussion quand même. S'il te plaît, dis-nous qui tu es, pourquoi tu es, qu'est-ce que tu fais, Monsieur Adouala?
Ben, je suis Brice Axel Sambo. Actuellement, je travaille dans une entreprise et j'ai moi-même fondé ma propre start-up, une agence de marketing il y a de cela 2 ans. Et j'accompagne les start-up, les entreprises à pouvoir lancer leurs produits. J'évolue sur les aspects du marketing, du commercial, voilà, des levées de fonds, lancement de produits. Donc, tout ce qui est vraiment marketing terrain, donc convaincre les clients au quotidien, les rencontrer, les discuter. Donc, c'est ça, de mettre sur pied des stratégies de marketing, de communication. Donc, concrètement, c'est qui je suis au quotidien. Et voilà, j'aime partager, mettre les gens en relation, c'est ma passion.
C'est génial. Merci infiniment. Il te faut du courage. Je te
Merci.
préviens. Mais tu sais déjà que moi, je préfère dire les choses cash. Le Cameroun est l'un des pays où les gens ne veulent plus investir. Malheureusement.
Ouais,
Tu
il y
le
a une
sais
perte
déjà.
de confiance.
Tu sais déjà. Donc, il te faut du
Tout
courage.
à fait.
Je t'encourage à ne pas abandonner. Si tu as besoin d'aide, on va t'aider, mais sois prêt. Ça ne sera pas facile.
Yeah.
Alors, Miss
Ouais.
P, tu parlais de cette histoire de
Yeah.
violence.
Yeah.
C'était quoi ton idée? Et
Sorry, I got
you
disconnected.
were
I had a
saying in
incoming
English.
call that just moved everything over, but nobody should call me anymore, please. Just wait.
Donc, we'll wait a few minutes.
Yeah. So my opinion, I got to the point where I said I don't agree with any form of violence at all. I've been in a violent relationship myself, so I know how much destruction that can cause, even if the person doesn't repeat it. But one thing I have to point out is we have to be able to understand that we cannot provoke people all the time and expect them to just stay the same. Most of these things happen without any provocation being the underlying issue, standard that's agreed. But sometimes, and in many cases, we push our partners to the wall. We do things that we will not even live with. I cannot tell you the gravity with which A is going to take a problem is the same gravity with which B is going to handle that problem. But something as simple as telling one person a lie can take them, pull out a gun and shoot you in the brain. It doesn't excuse it and make it right. It doesn't justify the fact that he shot you because you lied, but that's who that person is. There's no way you can determine how far that person is going to go. So why don't we all just try to do the honorable thing by respecting ourselves and respecting others? Now, in the African context, believe me, cheating and lying is very normal, and they excuse the male cheating so much more. If a woman cheats, they're going to just crucify her. She's a bad person and all those things in the world. That's fine. But for the guys, you're destroying his whole life. You're destroying his ego. You're destroying you're killing his being. Like he doesn't exist after that. Now, my question is, rather than focus on what the culture allows and doesn't allow, why don't we just decide to be human enough not to hurt other people? not to betray other people, not to lie to other people, not to take advantage of other people, because that's where fundamentally all those problems begin. Fundamentally. With what happened in America with the Cameroonian guy and what happened in Boya with the other guy, from comments we've had here and there, it seems to be guys who have invested in these women and these women ended up being with someone else. Now, to be honest with you, if you want to be with somebody and take care of them, do it. Don't expect anything off of it. Do it because you want to do it. That's what I believe in. I'm not going to invest in Lillian or in Grace simply because I expect that tomorrow they're going to come back and take care of me, or tomorrow they must be my life partner. No, that's the wrong way to live, because once you get disappointed, you start cultivating all these negative ideas. But from the moment that somebody start investing so much of their energy, their time, their money, and their lives in you, you have to be conscious of how much you let them invest in your life, because you are letting an avenue for deception build if you're not committed to them. If you want to be a good human being and somebody's investing so much in you, tell them, boy or girl, take it easy. Let's see where this is going, and try to give them that ability to make a fair decision on what they want to do. Because if you let them feel used, even if they don't use a gun, they might just use some poison and put in your tea and they'll never be found out. Especially in Africa, where you cannot identify, forensics and all those just yet. But if you pour something in someone's tea, there's no saying as to who exactly did that at all.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and it's really common practice for people. They think they are being smart by letting other people invest in them, and then they will get away with it. I don't know what the stories are. I've not heard of these two cases, but okay, but it's really like common practice people do.
It is common practice, and I
the
think we have to
bottom
get
line
out
is
of that narrative, because, if women start working harder to build up the lives they want, they will be less dependent on the men. Then we can have a clear analysis on if these men are killing women because they have invested in them, or if they're just clearly disappointed and they're jealous and they're shooting them. Because trust me, when somebody has invested their time and their money in you, I'm not saying that he can kill you, but I'm just saying that it takes away a lot if you disappoint him.
Yeah. Okay, we have comments. Let's take the comments. And we'll start your questions. Okay. Now we have. Let's see. Statistics. There we go. Thank you very much, Ada. Have a work meeting now. Okay. I need to take my French. You see, with Cameroonians, we are terrible. We switch, swap.
It's bilingual.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Sorry? No, we cannot hear you. You're gone again. So, don't worry, my dear. Keep coming back. Let me put the questions. Let's say, maintenant, en français, concrètement, comment définir le mindset? Pourquoi devrait-on parler de mindset africain? Est-ce que c'est important? À ton avis, toi, Bryce, explique-nous. C'est quoi ta mindset?
Déjà, je pense que le mindset, c'est simplement un état d'esprit d'un entrepreneur pour réussir, simplement. Et pourquoi parler de mindset africain? Le mindset, en fait, ça détermine un état d'esprit, c'est-à-dire quelle est la disposition intérieure qu'un entrepreneur doit avoir pour affronter le chaos de l'univers entrepreneurial. C'est-à-dire, au Cameroun, on parle, c'est vrai qu'en Europe, on parle beaucoup de développement personnel, on parle de PNL, on parle de plusieurs outils. Mais simplement, je pense que pour réellement se bâtir un mindset africain, si on prend conscience de notre responsabilité et de l'état chaotique dans lequel nous sommes, ce sont des énergies et des motivations assez puissantes pour réellement entrer dans l'univers entrepreneurial avec une énergie débordante. Comme vous avez dit, il y a une rupture de confiance entre la diaspora et le Cameroun en particulier, entre la diaspora et l'Afrique même de manière globale. Donc, l'entrepreneur qui sait aujourd'hui, qui dit qu'il se lance parce qu'il a vu telle personne se lancer, il doit comprendre qu'il doit avoir deux fois plus l'énergie d'un quelqu'un comme Elon Musk, de quelqu'un comme Mark Zuckerberg, de quelqu'un comme un entrepreneur en Europe. Pourquoi? Parce qu'en Europe, il y a des infrastructures, il y a des trucs d'accompagnement. Or, chez nous ici, on est vraiment dans un univers difficile, compliqué, les mentalités sont dures. Et vraiment, je pense que tout cela, ça doit forger la mentalité d'un entrepreneur qui doit se dire vraiment, je passe ou ça casse. Et se dire, voilà, quelles qu'en soient les difficultés, je n'ai qu'une seule chose, vraiment porter mon projet et le mettre à la disposition du public ci. Donc, je pense que vraiment, c'est ça. Je pense qu'il y a un écosystème naturel qui construit le mindset. C'est-à-dire qu'on va dire, oui, OK, moi je suis d'accord hein, pour l'exercice de PNL, construction de vision board, l'ambition, la vision, la valeur. Mais après tout ça, tu es jeté dans un écosystème où il y a des réalités concrètes qu'il faut lutter. Donc, c'est ça un peu. Donc, comprendre sa responsabilité et le niveau d'engagement qu'il faut déployer pour pouvoir faire la différence. Moi, voilà mon point.
Je suis tout à fait d'accord avec toi, mais j'aimerais apporter quand même quelques idées. C'est quoi ça? Ouais. Est-ce que vous arrivez à... C'est quoi ça? C'est quoi ça?
Un stylo.
Bravo. C'est quoi ça?
Un verre d'eau.
OK. On ne peut pas comparer ça à ça. OK? On ne peut pas comparer un stylo à un verre d'eau. Peu importe où vous êtes. Ça, ce sont des idées de PNL et tout ça. Ce sont des outils pour créer quelque chose. Mais vous vous trouvez dans un contexte différent. On est en Afrique, certaines choses vont marcher, d'autres choses ne vont pas marcher. On ne peut pas comparer, toujours l'Afrique est en train de regarder l'Europe, les États-Unis, la Chine. Mais qu'est-ce qui marche chez nous? Au Cameroun, je suis désolée de le dire, j'étais née dans ce pays, mais je le dis quand même. À mon avis, il y a 3 choses qui marchent. L'alcool, le sexe et les festivités. Si quelqu'un m'approche avec un projet qui n'est pas de ces 3 choses-là, je m'en fiche, je n'investis pas. Est-ce que tu comprends?
Ouais.
Miss P, what do you have to say? Miss P.
Ouais. Je suis entièrement d'accord.
C'est quoi ça? Défends-nous.
Miss P.
Je ne peux pas nous défendre parce que moi, je suis dans cet environnement et j'ai chaud, hein. J'ai chaud. J'ai chaud. Moi, j'en souffre. Sauf que, franchement, on veut vivre dans le mensonge. On a choisi de vivre dans le mensonge. On a choisi de vivre dans la médiocrité. Et je ne dis pas ça par rapport à tout ce qui s'est passé dans le passé, mais par rapport à maintenant. Quand je vois l'évolution de choses, quand je vois la possibilité de faire les choses différemment, moi, je trouve qu'on vit dans cette médiocrité parce qu'on a choisi de le faire. Au Cameroun, surtout, quand tu fais quelque chose de différent, d'innovant, on te fait quelque chose de normal. On te fait croire que tu es anormal. On te fait croire que non, tu fais les choses comme les fous et les folles le font. Donc, il faut faire les choses comme nous les normaux, pourtant ils sont anormaux, le font. C'est pas normal. Quand tu refuses de t'identifier avec ça et tu continues sur ton chemin, on te fait croire que tu es difficile, tu es compliqué. En fait, on te cherche tous les negative tags. On te met sur la tête et tout le monde te rejette. tout le monde te rejette parce qu'on te dit que non, celle-là, elle est en train de faire les choses comme ça ne doit pas être fait. Mais la question que je me suis posée plusieurs fois quand j'ai eu cette réaction, c'était quoi? Mais vous qui faites tout ce qui est normal, où est l'évolution? Quand je regarde le reste du monde, surtout dans le monde du média où je suis, moi, je vois les maisons de luxe, je vois les voitures de luxe, je vois les vies de luxe. Il y en a certains, en fait, c'est faux pour certains, ça c'est clair, mais ceux qui font le vrai business, ceux qui font vraiment dans le métier, ils se font une vie, ils se créent une vie. Chez nous, c'est la mendiacité. On te rend mendiant pour rien, pour rien. Maintenant, si tu acceptes même d'être mendiant et tu veux exercer, on ne te permet toujours pas d'exercer. Il y a tellement de problèmes et qui revient toujours à cette question, pourquoi les gens font ça? Pourquoi les gens opèrent comme ça? Et c'est parce qu'on ne veut pas que les autres évoluent. On a mystifié le succès et le pouvoir. Maintenant, quand tu es une jeune femme qui aime une certaine vie, qui aime un certain luxe, you're not white material, elle est très mauvais exemple à suivre, ou elle a une vie à la légère. Et non, 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 non. En fait, il y a toutes ces mauvaises connotations qu'on met sur ta tête quand tu veux juste vivre bien. Qu'est-ce que c'est vivre bien? Bien manger, shop au supermarché, avoir une belle petite voiture. Quand tu regardes, oui, il est vrai qu'au Cameroun, on pouvait avoir de meilleures voitures, mais les impôts ne nous permettent pas de ramener les voitures au Cameroun. Mais quand tu regardes les voitures des jeunes dans d'autres pays qui bossent, mais quand même, au Cameroun, c'est pour avoir une voiture, c'est une célébration. On choisit de vivre dans le mensonge et c'est ça qui est mauvais et c'est ça qu'on doit changer. Quand tu choisis un certain groupe de personnes, avoir un close circle to function with, on trouve que en fait, tu es mal élevé, tu snobes les gens, mais non. C'est pour éviter la contamination. Donc, il y a tellement de choses qu'on doit savoir surmonter. On doit passer à autre chose. Parce qu'on a choisi de rester in the primitive mindset for the wrong reasons. For the wrong reasons. And we can do so much for. This is not to curse my sisters, but let me ask you this question. When you get into offices, can you count up to 10 girls who are not heavy makeup or anything, who are just decently dressed, presentable, looking sharp and chic and smelling good? Can you count up to 10? People are going to blame it on living standards. They say, oh, there's no money circulating. Oh, the salaries. And I understand. I understand all those problems are on earth. But you as an individual, what does it cost you to buy a deodorant? What does it cost you to put simple bare makeup and just clean up nice and wear a simple, nice dress? You don't need to do too much to look presentable. Because when you look presentable, you feel good. Your energy is good. You start smiling with people and you ooze out something different from what we see every day. Every day you walk around the streets in Cameroon, people barely say hi. You know, they're not polite. They're always heavy and grumpy. And that's because they have chosen to let the environment affect them. Mm-hmm. We have so much to work on. We have so much to work on things.
Exactly. You nailed it. And I would also like to say what is not normally said. But from where I stand, it won't change anything for me. So if it helps the next generation, I will keep saying it. It's not even so much what's outside, it's what's within. In the name of family.
Yeah.
It's what's within. That's where the trouble is. Because from outside, it's just commentaries, looks, you can survive. But if where you live has become your living hell,
yes,
then you have nowhere to go. We should reconsider the way we treat we have African proverbs that says, when there is no enemy within, no one from without can attack you. It is clear. So in Cameroon, especially in Cameroon, I have friends from all over all the African, it's the same, but in Cameroon, we have to talk about it. How we are shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
This is such an amazing country with talented people. Talented people. It kills me. It kills me. You know,
Lillian, when I look at what some of these young people have built without any knowledge and resources, they had to self-teach from platforms, from internet platforms, you know, and they didn't even have investors readily available to plug in for them, but they have been able to build amazing things. I keep telling myself, come on, you know,
You
we
have to
have
try
to
one
get,
more day. Because of these
yeah,
people, you think,
yeah.
try one more day.
You
Just
have
one more day.
tremendous talent.
Et,
Tremendous.
et
So,
justement,
yeah.
je voulais réagir à la suite de Miss P tout à l'heure, qui par son discours m'a vraiment touché. Il faut dire que le niveau de mentalité au Cameroun, c'est vraiment hostile à l'innovation. C'est que tout, quand quelque chose vient de l'ordinaire, on va t'attaquer. C'est-à-dire qu'il faut prévoir soit dans son déploiement. Si tu veux faire quelque chose d'ordinaire, quelque chose qui est de bien, quelque chose qui est, rassure-toi que tu vas te ramasser des haters. Rassure-toi que tu vas te ramasser une flopée de personnes qui vont vraiment aller soit te saboter pour rien, construire des trucs sur toi qui n'ont rien à voir. Donc, moi, je pense que je ne sais pas si c'est caractéristique uniquement à l'univers camerounais, mais ou alors c'est en général comme ça. Mais au Cameroun, on a cette difficulté-là que quand quelqu'un se lève, il est difficile pour les gens de pouvoir l'accompagner. Mais moi, je suis quelqu'un d'assez optimiste. Je vais être optimiste pour retenir ça pour ma bonne santé mentale, en me disant que je sais que si j'ai un projet, Miss P va me soutenir. Je sais que si j'ai un projet, les gens autour de moi vont me soutenir. Et je pense que pour moi, il y a une équation à mettre sur pied. Il y a une équation à comment construire son capital sympathie. Vous voyez, pour pouvoir interagir avec cette cible, pour qu'elle ne soit pas justement hostile à ce qui est bon et nouveau. C'est-à-dire construire une approche sage, une approche tactique, je dirais même pirate, qui va, n'est-ce pas, pouvoir connecter avec les anciennes mentalités et voilà, pouvoir collaborer. Mais je vous assure, le niveau de mentalité au Cameroun, c'est d'une jungle,
Ouais.
c'est vraiment, c'est bordélique, si je peux me permettre le thème,
Et tu
franchement.
sais, tout ça, c'est grâce à l'instinct de survie. Quand tu es accroché sur l'instinct de survie, il n'y a rien qui ne puisse passer d'excellent. Rien du tout. Donc, on doit pouvoir passer de cette mentalité de survivre pour pouvoir voir qu'il y a mieux ailleurs. Et ça sera extrêmement difficile parce que tu ne peux pas imposer ça. Les gens au Cameroun, ils se concentrent sur le fait que non, je dois payer le loyer la semaine prochaine. Il ne réfléchit même pas le mois avant ou 2 mois avant, 2 mois avant comment il va payer son loyer. Non, c'est quand c'est à 2 doigts là qu'il pense à ça et ça le stresse. Dès qu'il finit de payer son loyer, maintenant, son prochain problème, en fait, c'est il faut que je puisse manger quelque chose, un peu de poisson braisé, machin et tout, et puis avoir un peu d'argent pour sortir avec les gars le week-end, boire la bière et tout.
Besoin
Et ça,
primaire.
je généralise, mais ce n'est pas le cas pour tout le monde. Mais c'est ça qui... Et c'est la masse qui influence beaucoup de choses, pour dire la vérité. Maintenant, ça, ce n'est pas pour dénigrer les influenceurs, mais quand tu regardes en termes d'influenceurs chez nous, qui sont les influenceurs et qu'est-ce qu'ils influencent? Je me pose toujours la question.
Voilà.
Parce que cette masse, c'est eux qui sont en train de relayer tout ce que tu leur montres. Ils sont influencés par ce que tu fais. Quand tu regardes ce qui amuse, ce qui entertain les Camerounais par rapport au reste du monde, c'est là où tu comprends. Quand tu regardes sur les plateformes camerounaises ce qui se passe et ce à quoi les gens s'accrochent, c'est là où tu comprends tout ce que tu es en train de dire, effectivement. Donc, du coup, la qualité, déjà, on ne le connaît pas. Je vais prendre l'exemple avec le Nigeria et le Ghana. J'ai beaucoup travaillé au Nigeria et au Ghana. Ce que j'ai constaté avec ces gens, c'est bien qu'ils soient assez primitifs, ils étaient beaucoup plus en arrière que nous. La différence, c'est quoi? They have a knack for quality. They have a knack for a certain lifestyle. They have a knack for growth. So they keep fighting for that. A Nigerian will see a Bentley and will start dreaming of a Bentley. That's his vision. He already has a vision. I'm saying material things now because, well, it's easier to relate, but it's not just about material things. His vision is that, and he will put in the work from today on how he's going to get there. And when he's going for that Bentley, he's not thinking of a fake Bentley. Naturally, no. He starts thinking of the original cut and he starts working with that and he will look for people along the way that can come into this dream and make it happen for him. We don't know how to do that. In Cameroon, when we want to go somewhere, our vision is not too far. We don't even have long-term visions per se. And even when we do not find the people who can accompany us to achieve those things as a collective effort. We want to bring down anybody who has the possibility to do something.
The lack of success story.
Yes, we feel threatened by them. I don't know what the reasons are, but we actually focus more of our energy on destroying rather than working together in building. Honestly, I wish and I pray that someday I have the ability to call names, because I'm happy calling names, and I'm going to cite my own personal experiences. Today, I just don't want to do that because I'm trying to be
yeah, that's my girl.
But I will start real life, experiences that I've had, which have convinced me that honestly, we are a very destructive set of people. And if you talk to 10 or 15 Cameroonians, they will tell you exactly the same thing. Oh, le Camerounais est comme ça. Oh, la médiocrité. Il faut qu'on ait les gens qui changent. Il faut qu'on ait, Everybody will tell you all these things we are saying, but nobody is acting upon it. And nobody will support you if you act upon it.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody was. That's the thing. People don't support.
They will all say the same thing. I've had this conversation with a good number of people, but nobody will.
I have as well. So let's take some. We have 2 comments here. Let's see here. Part of you are reaching out.
Mommy.
Mommy, what did you do?
That's my mama. Thank you, Mama.
Proud of you are reaching out in both languages. Yeah, vive le Cameroon.
I love my mama. Love you, Ma. I miss you so much. Jeez.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
When Pakistan want to join your... Okay, yes, please join. So, okay, we're here. So now let's go back to your question. Before we continue the question, you have to know that Cameroonians want to go alone so that they can stand at the top and talk about themselves, which doesn't serve anybody. When you stop talking about yourself, what else happens? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we have to really think about what we are doing. With such wealth, look at what Rwanda has done. Let's look at the case of Rwanda.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think about our day-to-day life, the way we spend in that country. I keep saying it, It's not the only country where there's deflation in Africa. There is in Gabon, there is in Cote d'Ivoire, there is everywhere. So let people not tell me there's deflation in Cameroon. Let's look at how we look at our life, live our lives. When we wake up in the morning, what do? We first think of having a good breakfast, a big breakfast. Then we have lunch. Then there's the alcohol. Then there's the music and everything. Go to
Rush and Cameroon starts at 7:30 in the morning. That should tell you everything.
Yep. So there is a lot of mindset shift that we have to do. We cannot be comparing ourselves to Europe, to America. You talk of Elon Musk or Zuckerberg. Those people, they wake up at 4 a.m. They work out.
Yeah.
They do intermittent fasting. They work. They take care of their kids, their family, their wives, before they take care of anything else. In Cameroon, you wake up, you take care of yourself. You eat. At 7 already, you're eating chicken. And you want to compare your life to someone who is doing intermittent fasting. You cannot compare apples to pear. If we really envy this lifestyle, we have to change.
Yeah.
We have to change. But how do we... Bryce, what do you have to say?
Oui, j'aimerais dire que bon, c'est vrai qu'il y a beaucoup qui nous écoutent de par le monde, mais concrètement, la situation n'est pas aussi chaotique que ça. Parce qu'une statistique de février de cette année nous dit que le Cameroun a été la 4e puissance mondiale à être la nation la plus entreprenante du monde. Et en 2015, selon les statistiques, le Cameroun était la première nation dans le monde à pouvoir avoir des énergies entreprenantes. Donc, c'est pour dire que c'est vrai qu'il y a des tares, c'est vrai qu'il y a des problèmes, c'est vrai que
Qui
ça.
a écrit ça? Qui a écrit ça?
Oui, 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 je vais vous envoyer le
Oui,
lien.
parce que là,
Et
cette information ne peut pas être juste. Combien? Sixième pays du monde? Monde?
oui, la quatrième, en février 2020, la quatrième nation au monde la plus entreprenante. Mais c'est vrai que dans la réalité, l'autre statistique va vous dire que la plupart des initiatives qui sont lancées n'atteignent pas 5 ans. Vous voyez un peu. Donc, il y a 80% des entreprises qui, elles sont lancées, mais n'atteignent pas 5 ans. Mais c'est-à-dire en termes de personnes qui, quand même, essayent avant que ça échoue, au Cameroun, il y a plus de personnes qui essaient quand même. Il y a par exemple, tout dernièrement, le tout dernier programme lancé par les Nations Unies. Le Cameroun a eu le plus de demandes. En une journée, le Cameroun a eu 203 demandes. Un programme lancé par les Nations Unies, le PNU Cameroun. Donc, c'est pour dire qu'il y a vraiment, c'est vrai qu'il y a l'État, mais il y a des jeunes qui ont soif, qui veulent donner quelque chose, qui veulent proposer. Mais c'est vrai que l'environnement, l'écosystème est dur, mais malgré tout ce système chaotique, je dirais même fantomatique, il y a quand même des gens qui se lèvent, qui se disent, OK, il y a pouvoir. Et même des statistiques, même sur, regardez même les compétitions internationales, il y a certains Camerounais qui arrivent à quand même à se distinguer. Il y a des applications qui sont lancées, mais franchement, c'est juste faute de suivi et de financement. Mais je pense que vraiment, les Camerounais essayent dans leur, en tant que faire se peut, de pouvoir proposer quelque chose. Donc, quand même, je pense qu'il y a quand même cette note d'équilibre, en fait, qu'il faut pouvoir communiquer à ceux qui nous écoutent, quoi.
Je suis d'accord avec vous. Je suis d'accord avec vous. Le Cameroun, c'est quand même un pays. Donc, il y a des gens qui essayent de s'en sortir. Il y a des gens qui lancent des produits. C'est un pays. C'est pas un village, c'est un pays. Mais le problème, c'est que quand dans ce pays, il y a 150 personnes qui postulent pour le même truc, avec les mêmes idées, ça signifie zéro. Au contraire, on devait se unir pour envoyer une seule personne. Mais vous envoyez des trucs. J'ai vu certains offres que les gens ils envoient sans signature, sans adresse, sans email. Quand vous envoyez quelque chose avec avec Gmail, c'est stupide. Il faut avoir quand même un site internet avec votre email. Pour avoir un WordPress, ça coûte rien. Il y a des choses basiques. Mais si on se met ensemble, on envoie 5 personnes au lieu d'envoyer 150 merdes, et puis on dit statistiquement, il y avait 150 personnes qui ont postulé aux Nations Unies. Bien sûr qu'il y avait 150, puisque eux tous ont postulé. Mais le problème, c'est qu'il n'y avait pas de qualité dans ces 150. C'est ça mon problème. Mon problème, c'est qu'il y a tellement de talents, mais chacun veut ça pour lui-même. Il faut qu'on s'unisse.
Il y a beaucoup de désordre, en fait.
Oui.
Il y a beaucoup de
Oui.
désordre. Il y a un manque d'infrastructures. Il y a beaucoup d'intelligence, il y a beaucoup de talent, il y a beaucoup de potentiel, mais il y a un manque de structure. Et à chaque fois qu'on revient à ceci, je n'aimerais pas qu'on soit concentré sur l'infrastructure que le leadership devait construire pour nous, mais nous avons la possibilité de commencer à créer cette infrastructure pour nous-mêmes. Par exemple, ce que Liliane vient de dire est vrai. Au lieu d'identifier, au lieu de regarder 150 demandes qui ne vont t'apporter pas vraiment grand-chose, si ces 150 personnes, même si peut-être même 50 de ces personnes pouvaient s'unir, comme elle a dit tout à l'heure, chacun a des components dans son projet. Et si tu sais que tu es plus fort et spécialisé en X, Y, tu offres cela. L'autre qui est spécialisé en A, B, C, I, l'autre, vous construisez une plus forte base. Un projet ou un produit ou un service beaucoup plus crédible, beaucoup plus acceptable, beaucoup plus solide. Mais c'est ce qui nous manque parce que tout le monde, en fait, va être porteur. Et en même temps, pour moi, I'm going to say this in English, I feel like spending too much energy looking for grants sometimes is the problem. Some of these organizations want projects that they can finance to about 5 million euros. So if you're coming and asking for 15,000 euros, it doesn't make any sense to them, you know. But when you find a way to build that ecosystem where you have a solid product that can sell up to about 10 million, even if they're looking for 15 million, trust me, they're going to start thinking about you. They're going to start thinking about how to function with you. And it may not necessarily mean because you heard about the grant today, you must apply today and kill yourself. But what if that grant gives you an idea and you go and work with other people? Or what if you want to, apply for that grant and then you find out that there are other people interested, and instead of applying for that grant, you guys decide to go and work on something else together and build something stronger. The formula, anyway, that's what I'm like, bottom line, the formulas we are using are not always the best.
Yeah.
So yes, we have intelligence, but there's so many platforms that we can use. The internet has multiple free tools. We don't know how to use them.
Yeah.
We have to start learning how to use some of those tools. There are people who have built multi-billion businesses just through the internet. So it's not always about, and that's one thing I'm going to say that I'm not comfortable with. We're thought to be beggars, always going to beg for something. Like you're begging these people. If you're having a not so solid project and asking for a grant, you're a beggar because you cannot match up to what they're asking you for.
Yeah. And also, if I may add on to that, is that we in Cameroon, we're not really good in doing what the world needs. We're not working
Voila.
towards what the world needs. We are working towards what we think the world should have.
What we want the world to accept from us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's this arrogance. It's like, no, today, what the world needs today, it's anything that has to do with ecology, immune systems, health, infrastructure. And that's where Nigeria beats us. Nigeria looks for example, here at AWIF, we're trying to build a database where we can have administrative services online, like Fiverr does. But if you call a girl, I've called many of them and said, this is our price. It's $5 an hour for this work. Oh, I can't work for $5. That's what they forget. That when you have a client that's paying you $5 today for 1 hour, and you have that same client having you for 10 hours a day, times 5, that's when the money comes in. But they go, moi, je peux pas, je vais quitter ma maison pour aller.
I've had that experience too.
Bryce, ton pays là.
J'aimerais poser une question à Miss P. Dans cet écosystème, il faut se lancer. Et tout à l'heure, dans votre échange, vous avez dit, dans votre expérience, vous n'avez pas attendu d'être prêt. Vous avez commencé là où vous étiez et vous avez construit vous-même chaque étape. Et vous êtes aujourd'hui capable de pouvoir travailler sur toute la chaîne, n'est-ce pas, de production de votre industrie. Mais j'ai envie de dire réellement, comment traverser ce système? Genre, quelqu'un vous appelle, il vous communique une opportunité qui vous pousse dans votre zone où vous n'êtes pas habitué. Comment être confortable pour justement shifter d'un environnement où on se sent à l'aise à un environnement où on doit tout découvrir, tout apprendre, il y a les délais, il y a les difficultés, il faut financer, ainsi de suite. De par votre expérience, comment est-ce que vous avez pu aborder cet inconnu en fait?
Comment est-ce que tu vis aujourd'hui en sachant que tu vas te réveiller demain? Tu es sûr que tu vas te réveiller demain? Est-ce que tu es sûr, Brice, que tu seras là demain? C'est comme ça, on vit partout. Il y a des difficultés partout. Est-ce que tu sais quand tu vas tomber malade? Est-ce que tu sais quand tes poches seront vides à 100%? C'est ça la vie. Pour moi, quand j'ai commencé, j'avais juste une idée, j'avais juste une envie. Je ne savais même pas que genre, c'était mon calling. Et une chose que j'ai retenue à travers le temps, c'est que sometimes people can see something in you that you
don't see yourself.
Yeah. Because you may be too focused on something else, thinking that that's what you're good at. Meanwhile, what you're truly good at, you can't see it. Somebody else is seeing it. If somebody's calling you for something, it does not always mean you'll be good at it, but it means that there's a possibility that they've seen something great in you. For example, when I started the show, okay, that necessarily wasn't somebody calling out to me, but it was just me thinking of what was happening, what I want to see, and what is not happening, and how I could bring that in. You know, I saw an empty space and I decided to jump in. But when I started that, I had one of my friends who's an event organizer who called me someday to host an event. And it was a big event. And I'm like, no, speaking in front of people, no, I don't. What am I going to say? I don't like hosting. I've never tried it before. And he just said, I trust you. I trust you. You know, I just feel like you can do this, right? And I went on that first event. I had the nerves of life. Like I was panicking and stressed. And that day, I delivered the show and everybody enjoyed. They were like, oh my God, she's amazing. She's fresh. She's this. And it happened. And then I started being called out for so many different events. I received emails from out of the country to come and host events, things that I didn't really like put down work for, to search for. And that's how it happened for me to, you know, and along those lines, other challenges come because sometimes you're called for events, they don't pay you on time. Sometimes they don't even pay you. Sometimes there so many things come up. When it comes to even my business, I have so many challenges. But the question is, if you set your mind to it, you set your goals and you work according to plan, whatever challenges that life has to offer you, believe me, you're going to be able to brave them. You will brave them. And there's also understanding and being able to have the discernment to know when to let go of certain things. Because sometimes we push too hard without understanding that the universe is telling us to catch a break and switch it up. In my business and in my different services, I've had the ability to understand when to take a break sometimes and when to chill and when to push. So you have to be a keen listener to yourself and to your surroundings. There is no environment you go in where there are no uncertainties, there are no challenges. No.
Exactly.
But you just have to be willing to you know, brave through life.
Yeah. And I really believe Cameroonians have that ability to really push when it's necessary. That's one of the qualities of Cameroonians.
Yeah.
However,
Yes.
there is something that I really want to add to this, is that we should learn to say yes, then go figure it out. Because when he was asking, how did you pass this challenge? Learn to say, I think, is it Elon Musk? I can't remember who said this. Learn to say, whenever they propose, I think it's this guy with Virgin Airlines. Say yes. When an offer is made to you, say yes, then go figure it out. The problem here, the danger here with the Cameroonian mindset or African mindset is that we say yes and we don't produce. We don't figure it out.
We dwell on bluff when we say yes.
Exactly.
And we don't believe in specializing in anything. We believe in being the master of everything. And that's where a lot of problems come through. There are times where I've had jobs that I'm not too sure I can deliver 100% on. And I'm going to be straightforward with my clients and tell them, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. And sometimes what I end up doing is finding somebody who can, you know, work with me to be able to deliver to the standards that the client wants. Either the client pays me and I pay them, or either we split the contract. So it's about being honest and identifying where your strengths and weaknesses are and making that person trust you. There have been situations where I've been that open with my clients. Can you hear me? I'm gonna.
Okay. So.
Some problem of connection.
Yeah. She's coming back.
Okay.
So how do we, okay, she's here now. So how do we shift from one mindset to another? How do we shift from the growth mindset to
I want to say something about this topic. We need to understand the power of disruption. Yes, it's very important. Parce qu'en fait, à un moment donné, le fait de ne pas bouger, le fait de ne pas avancer, le fait de ne pas progresser, le fait de ne pas être dans un univers où il n'y a pas de secousse. Vous ne vous créez pas. Il y a un adage qui dit les plus grands marins se reconnaissent par le niveau d'agitation de la mer qu'ils connaissent. C'est-à-dire, vous vous découvrez plus dans un univers de trouble. Donc, c'est pas qu'en fait, l'univers est trouble, c'est qu'en fait, vous avez construit un mindset suffisamment fort pour à la hauteur de la disruption externe. Donc, plus je ressens la disruption, plus je ressens le stress, plus je ressens que c'est dû, ça veut dire que j'ai un problème d'ajustement interne d'un point de vue de mon énergie, de ma focalisation, peut-être de la toxicité de mes relations. Donc, je dois refocaliser mes priorités et savoir, n'est-ce pas, construire ma propre réalité. Donc, je pense que c'est ça, comprendre vraiment l'importance de la disruption, de ces changements qui peuvent parfois arriver et parfois la vie nous impose cela. Parfois, ça peut être une rupture émotionnelle, ça peut être une rupture sentimentale, ça peut être vraiment quelque chose qui vient réellement vous planter dans votre zone de force. Et vraiment, quand vous sentez cette énergie, il faut couler dans cet état d'âme, en fait.
Ma contribution à ça, c'est que la question, c'est comment est-ce qu'on peut shifter d'un mindset à l'autre. Il est très simple. Vous savez où vous en êtes aujourd'hui et où vous voulez aller. Alors, depuis combien de temps vous êtes au même stade? Alors, si vous multipliez ça par 10, ça risque de vous donner le nombre des années que vous avez besoin pour aller au stade où vous voulez, vous souhaitez. Maintenant, est-ce que c'est 10 ans? Est-ce que c'est 20 ans? Est-ce que c'est 15 ans? Ça peut vous donner une idée. Normalement, de faire un shift d'un mindset, ça prend quand même minimum, à mon avis, 3 ans. On ne change pas le jour au lendemain. C'est une éducation, c'est des exercices qu'on doit faire. De 3 à 5 ans, on peut faire ce changement-là. On ne peut pas faire en un jour. Je l'ai bien vu avec la méditation. Ça m'a pris 3 ans pour que je sois vraiment dedans. Et encore, ces 3 ans, ce n'est pas assez. Donc, il faut faire le calcul où vous êtes dans votre vie et où vous voulez aller. Multiplier ça par 5, par 10, et la réponse est là. Le problème avec l'Afrique, c'est qu'on veut avoir les choses aujourd'hui. On plante l'arbre et le fruit, on va avoir tout de suite. Donc, là, c'est ça le problème parce qu'on a cette idée de hand to mouth. On ne fait pas des projets à long terme. Quand quelqu'un va en Europe, la famille demande l'argent tout de suite. Mais tu es parti en Europe, toi. On voit les gens en photo. Ils ont construit des maisons. Non, ça prend 10 ans. Pour que quelqu'un s'en sort, que quelqu'un construit quelque chose, ça prend minimum 10 ans. Si tu le fais dans la norme, ça prend minimum 10 ans. Si tu as un travail, ça prend minimum 10 ans pour que tu puisses construire quelque chose. Et ça doit ancrer dans la tête des Camerounais. Rien n'est construit en un jour. Non, c'est pas vrai. Un mindset, cette shift-là, ça prend du temps, ça prend le travail. Et parce que c'est des habitudes qu'on a eues pendant des années. Comment est-ce que tu veux les changer tout de suite? C'est des choses que tes parents t'ont données, tes grands-parents, arrière-grands-parents, les beaux-parents, l'oncle, tante, tout ce monde. Ça ne peut pas changer le jour au lendemain.
Ouais.
Ça ne peut pas. C'est pour ça que je dis, j'ai peur. Je ne sais pas si ça changera.
Il faut être positive, en fait.
Je suis ici parce que je suis positive, mais quand je parle de plus en plus aux gens, c'est décevant. Je ne sais pas quoi faire, mais c'est vraiment... Toi, tu vois parce que tu es là, hein, tu es sur place. Peut-être que tu ne vois pas l'impact parce que tu es sur place. Mais c'est vraiment décevant parce qu'il y a beaucoup de gens qui veulent venir aider, mais c'est comme si on vient détruire quelque chose. Mais quoi? Si vous êtes si confortable, on va pas venir alors. On va rien proposer.
Mhm. Ouais.
C'est comme si on vient détruire quelque chose. Pourtant, il y a
Mhm.
tellement de choses à construire. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on doit faire?
Ouais.
OK. L'autre question que tu avais posée, le success story peut-il être une source pour construire un bon mindset? Ça, c'est dangereux. Ça, c'est dangereux pour, à mon avis. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire le success story? De qui et de quoi? Ce n'est pas parce que les gens sont successful qu'ils ont toujours les bonnes intentions.
Ouais. Et
Surtout en
qu'ils ont toujours les bonnes formules pour les autres.
Exactement. Donc, il
Mm.
faut faire attention avec les success stories. On les voit aussi, même dans les pays développés, avec les influencers. Ils sont où aujourd'hui avec le Covid? C'est là où tu vois uh, the false success people. They're not successful, in fact. It's not true.
Yeah.
So you really have to be careful who you're following, who you think it's success. I think success, it's a personal thing, you know? It's
Yeah.
personal to me and to you. What does it mean to me? Me right now to be successful is just go to bed and sleep. But for somebody else, they need a home, they need shelter, they need food, they need
They need
medical.
shelter, they need food, they need
Yeah.
medical.
So it differs from one person to the other.
It
So be
differs from
careful.
one person to the other. So be careful.
Miss P, what do you think about this?
Miss P, what do you think about this?
For me, I would agree with
I,
you
I
to a
would
major
agree with you
percentage because personally,
because
I don't have
personally,
role models.
I don't have role models.
Anytime they ask me who are my role models, I don't have a role model, to be honest with you. There are people whose journey I've admired, and there are people
There are people
who actually
who actually
I will not who inspire me, but I will not define anybody as my role model or as a specific success story that I want to replicate because honestly, there is no other you. You are the only you that exists. Unless somebody else was born the same day, same place by the same mother and has lived every exact step that you have, that person is not you.
Yeah.
So you have yourself, you can be inspired and encouraged by other people, but realistically, you have to define what brings you happiness, and that's your definition of success. If you watch other people's journeys and you take away bits and pieces of things from there that
pieces
help
of
you,
things
that's
from
great.
there that help
But for you to be reliant on someone else's journey or on someone else's formula to create your own success, when you look at even brands like Samsung and iPhone, it is alleged that Samsung copied iPhone to be this successful and even more successful than iPhone. But hey, they did not copy iPhone to
they,
100%.
did not copy
They
iPhone
used that and built their own product in a specific way which identifies to them. So that's what I apply to myself. I can be inspired by so many things around me, but my definition of success is different. Oh shit. Can you hear me?
No, we cannot hear you. Okay, let's take
No,
some
we cannot hear
comments.
you. Okay, let's take some comments.
Okay, let's see. I have to mute your phone, Bryce, because it makes an echo. That's why. So, how to move from fixed to growth mindset is to understand that one, it's never too late to learn. Two, it's okay if I fail. At least I learned something. Three, tell yourself that I appreciate constructive criticism. Thank you very much. Four, tell yourself I can always improve at something if I try. Five, ask what can I do better next time to make this work? Absolutely. Absolutely. These are really powerful ideas on how to move from fixed to mind. From fixed mindset to growth mindset, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time, but she has given us really value here that we should all learn from. So next, success means you
I
set goals.
apologize. I'm not to interrupt you. My phone is about to go off.
Yes.
That's
So
why it keeps jumping out of.
We are
The
unique. We
platform.
can't limit ourselves to other people's experience and definitions. Absolutely. So
Mhm.
let's go to the last question. And Miss P, we've been talking about mindset all along, but
Yes.
not tell us about your project, who you are, why you're doing what you are doing for this continent, for this country. You are doing so much work. And again,
Thank you.
energies
Thank
like
you.
yours is what we need, and that's why we keep on doing what we do. So please tell us about your project, and we know it's time
Thank
for you to go,
you.
but we really want to hear what you're up to right now and why you're so motivated about it.
Um, believe you me, I am rubbish at talking about myself, so I'm just gonna jump straight into my project. I started with the project I kicked off with was the show. And the
Yes.
show essentially started because when I moved back to Cameroon, I was looking for what young people are doing. I was trying to figure out what I want to do, who I'll be doing with, and where I'm going to be in a couple of years from now. And I couldn't get a lot of information on our generation. So when I looked on TV, when I looked online, there was not so much going on. So I decided to create a platform where people can come and share their stories, inspire people, number one, those who are influencers, inspire others, and then those who are looking for, platforms to share their work, they can have that platform. So it was like a two-way street, a platform to share what they're doing and then be inspired by others who are already impacting their communities. Essentially, that was it for me. And then when doing that, I realized that young people had a lot more issues that were not catered to. So I created a workshop series called the Arcadia Workshop Series. And the Arcadia Workshop Series, every quarter actually just takes a Saturday out and then teaches some of these people soft skills with which they can use to present themselves in a professional environment. But I do not put my image and my face in front of that. I always bring trainers in, people who have had real life experiences in the professional world, in different fields and different sectors. We've had really, really great experiences, a lot of great feedback, and it's been beautiful. So those are the two key projects that I've been focusing on. On the side, I do consultancy work to be able to pay my bills here and there in communication strategies and all. But I'm hopeful that we're impacting positively, and then young Africans can really push forward for greatness.
Great. I love it. How can we support you?
Give me all your money.
I've got to keep some for myself.
No, but to be honest, in terms of support, every like, share, and comment helps. Every feedback helps. And on a more private note, I think we talked about some of the projects that we would most likely engage in um, for us to be able to impact, our young women positively. So those are the things that I would really be happy to engage in terms of support with anyone. If you have beautiful ideas that we can develop, that would be great.
You can count on me. I will do the best I can with the little I can, and I will engage the people that I know who might be
Yeah.
interested. But again, in Cameroon is a problem. So before I ask for any help from anybody, I want to get involved myself to see that
Yeah.
there's hope before I can present to somebody else, because I don't want to be a disappointment to others.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to. So I'll
It's
take,
gonna be okay.
I will come a leg in with you to support your project on a personal
Thank
base.
you.
And from there,
Thank
we
you.
can, when we have success stories, as he said before, when we have concrete example that we can present to the world, then I can present that to other people. I know people who could be interested, but at this stage,
Mhm.
we will not do that. I will come with you in my own little way on a personal level, and
Thank you.
I am hopeful that something will happen.
Yeah. By the way, I apologize. My battery is extremely low, so
Yes.
this might
So
just
thank you so much. Thank you
abandon me
very much
along the
for
way.
your time.
Thank you, Miss P. See you.
Thank you, Breeze. Thank you so much. I'm really happy that you were part of this exchange because you shared some key pointers as well. And especially from a man's perspective, it's really amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see that we have young people who are still on the right track.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate.
Lillian, thank you for having me today. I feel so blessed sharing this platform with you and all the conversations we had. You really helped me feel lighter, because sometimes you feel like you're the only person who sees things from one perspective, maybe your problem. And to find out that there are other people in the world, and especially to share, I realized that we're thinking a lot of things alike and we're seeing a lot of the things. So I'm encouraged to keep the fight going.
Please do, on my behalf. Don't give up. It's going to be a long journey, but we cannot give up. Not now.
Not at
Thank you
all.
so
Not
much.
at all.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna charge my phone.
Bisous. Ciao.
Thank you.
Bye. So now, just you and me. Voilà. Je pense que j'ai un écho depuis chez toi.
On a fait, ok, on a fait pratiquement très riche ce soir.
Tout à fait. Maintenant, en quoi je peux t'aider?
Ben, concrètement, la mise en relation. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, l'un des dangers de l'entrepreneuriat, c'est l'isolation et le manque d'opportunités. C'est pas forcément l'argent, non, parce que beaucoup, même j'ai vu des gens dans mon écosystème commencer avec de l'argent, avec beaucoup d'argent, qui ont fermé en moins de 2 ans. Donc, l'important, c'est vraiment le bon mindset, la bonne attitude et surtout l'intégrité. C'est vrai qu'il y a beaucoup, il y a dans l'écosystème camerounais, il y a cette absence criarde d'intégrité. Mais je pense que quand vous avez le sentiment de faire ce que vous faites, parce que vous êtes appelé à le faire, il y a comme une mission qui vous guide, il y a une main invisible qui vous pousse. Vous êtes vraiment en train d'accomplir, au-delà d'un business, une responsabilité. Je crois que c'est dans ce type d'état d'esprit que je suis. Donc, comment est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider vraiment à la mise en relation des personnes qui ont besoin de pouvoir investir, lancer des projets ici au Cameroun et pourquoi pas peut-être ailleurs. Donc, concrètement, ça peut être en offre. En offre, je vous ai déjà dit que José a dit un certain nombre de choses. En offre, on aura l'opportunité de pouvoir en discuter.
OK.
Donc, déjà, merci. Et merci beaucoup pour cette magnifique plateforme. Il y a déjà tout le panel qu'on a pu constituer là. Il y a des Karine Djongwe qui est, par exemple, je vais certainement vous envoyer les numéros de téléphone, comme ça vous allez la contacter. C'est une très, très grande dame qui a construit sa carrière en Angleterre. Elle a une grande chaîne YouTube qui impacte énormément de personnes, plus de 100 000 personnes. Elle est installée ici au Cameroun. Et voilà, elle aide beaucoup de femmes à pouvoir se lancer par des solutions et des tips concrets, des opportunités d'affaires. Je pense que c'est un profil que je vais vous conseiller. Il y a également des profils, comme je vous ai dit, en Belgique, en Côte d'Ivoire. Donc, vraiment, je pense que merci encore, merci Madame Moller pour tout ce que vous faites.
Il n'y a pas de quoi, mais je vais voilà. Est-ce que tu m'entends? OK. Je préfère couper parce qu'il y a un écho. Pour l'investissement au Cameroun, je ne m'engagerai pas. Pas pour l'instant. Parce qu'il y a eu des choses qui ont été déplaisantes pour les investisseurs. Et c'est comme j'ai dit avec Miss P, on doit prouver notre capacité au monde. Notre image a été tannie. Donc, moi, je m'engage pour toi de te donner un suivi jusqu'au point où on sait que c'est valable, c'est possible pour qu'un investisseur puisse venir avec toi pour un projet. Mais aujourd'hui, là, comme on est là, aujourd'hui, là, comme ça, oui, j'ai les investisseurs, mais le Cameroun ne fait pas partie. Et peu importe que je suis camerounaise ou pas, je dois aussi rester prudent et honnête envers eux, parce que ce sont les gens quand même que j'apprécie beaucoup. Ce sont les gens qui ont le cœur. Ce sont vraiment les gens qui veulent faire du bien en Afrique. Donc, je ne peux pas m'amuser juste parce que je suis née au Cameroun pour investir ou bien de prendre un dossier pour présenter à quelqu'un. Ça serait un manque de respect. Comme ça peut être un manque de respect envers toi aussi, si je fais une chose pareille. Donc, on va rester en contact, on va travailler ensemble, on va évoluer ensemble, on va donner du temps jusqu'au point où c'est possible d'avoir un investisseur qui s'intéresse à toi, à ton projet, et voilà. Mais je ne te lâche pas, je te suis, je te donne mes conseils, je te donne mon temps, tu peux poser toutes les questions, ce que tu veux faire, pose. Oui, je peux te guider, je peux t'aiguiller, mais de prendre ton dossier à toi et de donner à un investisseur, à moi, je ne peux pas. Mais je vais rester lié à toi, qu'on continue à travailler, à évoluer, ton site, ta page, ta communication, ton marketing, comment est-ce que tu le fais, tout ça, cette plateforme je t'offre, je vais demander à d'autres personnes pour avoir une interview avec toi parce que tu es net, hein, donc ta communication elle est nette, je ne veux pas mentir, donc je m'engage quand même de te pousser comme un petit frère, mais un investisseur, je ne peux pas. Est-ce que tu m'as entendu?
Yes, assez. Est-ce que tu m'as entendu? Tout à fait, tout à fait. Je disais vraiment, ce que vous dites, c'est vrai, parce que vraiment, it's not yet the moment. Donc, on doit laisser vraiment les choses grandir et naturellement se faire jusqu'à ce que, au point d'évaluation, les choses vont se faire naturellement. Merci, merci déjà pour tout ce que
je suis positive. Il ne faut pas abandonner. Le monde est vaste et le Cameroun a beaucoup de talent. Beaucoup, beaucoup. Donc, l'opportunité existe. C'est la confiance qui manque. 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 Ce pays, c'est bourré de talent.
Quand on regarde uniquement la créativité au niveau du Made in Cameroun, par exemple, tout ce qui sort, on a, par exemple, une dame, vous vous rendez compte, elle fait des pâtes à base de manioc. Il y a par exemple des eaux de parfum faites à base des épices naturelles. Vous voyez, un maître senteur camerounais, mais des Cameroun, il va récupérer le poivre blanc, le ginseng, nos épices naturelles et le transforme en parfum. Donc, il y a tellement, que si on cite comme ça, on pourrait arriver demain. Donc, il y a tellement d'opportunités, mais vraiment, on espère qu'avec avec le temps, vraiment, et on reste positif de toute façon. Vraiment, pour la bonne santé mentale, c'est vrai qu'autour de nous, il y a des réalités, mais pour la bonne santé mentale, pour l'énergie d'avancer, on est obligé de rester optimiste, positif et de continuer de hustle.
Oui. Pour les produits, pour des choses comme ça, il faut collaborer avec d'autres pays. Il y en a plusieurs en Afrique du Sud, il y en a plusieurs au Kenya. Il faut collaborer pour faire un bel produit propre, bien emballé, tout ce qui est écologique, tout ce qui est... Il n'y a pas de toxicité là-dedans. Donc, il y a tellement de choix au Cameroun, il y a tellement de possibilités. Mais quand on dit A et on découvre que c'était Z, Et tout d'un coup, on essaie de cacher des choses. Je ne peux pas. Je ne peux pas. Et c'est vraiment au détriment des gens comme toi. Parce qu'il y a des gens bien, il y a des gens valables, mais on ne le voit pas parce que tous ceux qui font des magouilles, ils détruisent tout. Mais je pense que l'avenir nous donnera raison et nous donnera cette chance pour qu'on puisse faire des choses merveilleuses. Je pense que la vérité finit par se savoir. Et la vérité, c'est que ce pays a beaucoup de talents, les gens intelligents et aussi les gens bien. Et ça, c'est la vérité. Tôt ou tard, le monde sera. Donc, voilà, on reste en contact. Je reste ton mentor, la grande sœur. Pose toutes les questions. Tu sais où me trouver. Tu as mon email, tu as tout ce qu'il faut. Envoie un message et tu sais que si ce n'est pas moi, c'est Maria. Si ce n'est pas Maria, c'est moi. Mais j'essaie de faire de mon mieux à répondre aux gens et construisons quand même cette communauté camerounaise. Moi, je veux que, comme je t'avais dit, il faut qu'on ait un panel, qu'on en discute, qu'on en parle. Pourquoi autant de mensonges? On a des choses mais excellentes et on le gâche avec cette mensonge, cette trahison, cette haine. Pourquoi? Donc, parlons de ça. Nous allons faire quelque chose ensemble. D'accord? Mais il faut que cette confiance, ça prend du temps. Parce que trop a été fait et dit et détruit qu'on peut pas effacer comme ça. Mais on va pas abandonner. On va pas abandonner.
Yes. Always hustle. Toujours lutter.
Yeah. OK. À bientôt.
Merci. Bonne soirée.
Bonne soirée.
Et bonne soirée. Bye.
Bye-bye. So that was it. I hope you found some value in this live stream. Please like, share, comment. Agree, disagree. That's why we're here. My name is Susan Mole. I am the founder and CEO of the African Women's Economic and Entrepreneurship Forum, the place where we challenge the status quo for economic advancement of African women. Think of yourself. 80% of women will die greedy. 80% of men will die married. Think of your income stream. Think of your mindset. What's holding you back? You have the means to make this money. You have the means to make that shift. Why are you not making the shift? What's stopping you? How can you help? Send us an email. Reply by commenting on this page, on this video, like, share. Come participate with us. Come share some moments with us. Let us know what the issue is. We're here to help. We care about you. And remember, you are the star that makes the difference. We're counting on you. Bye-bye.